Hey, good evening. Good Friday evening to you guys. How the heck are you? It's good to see you, and it's good to be seen by you. I hope you're all doing great this evening. I hope you're having a wonderful evening. I hope you're having a peaceful evening and that everything is okay where you are. I have been having a ton of fun today. I've been doing a lot of 3D printing of 1/100 scale minis, vehicle minis, tanks, armor personnel carriers, and so on. I'm not a lot of people in the Twilight 2000 message boards and groups have been saying that, oh, one guy even said, I put my campaign on hold because, because, events in Ukraine, it's too real. And look, I get it. Don't misunderstand me. I completely get it. But just like I know that, the golden Dungeons and Dragons isn't real, the missiles and tanks in Twilight 2000 aren't real. And I know other people know that too. I'm not saying that. But the point is not to talk about real world stuff. The point is rather that I spent today 3D printing some pretty awesome 1/100th scale model tanks and armor personnel carriers, which I would show to you, but they're tiny. Here they are, guys. Check them out. And I need to once I get them all together, I'm going to break out the airbrush and I'm going to base coat these all with OD green. That's olive drab OD. It's like, the color of a tank or something like that. I'm going to paint them all up OD green and then pick out the details. And then boom, I'll have some 1/100 scale, which, by the way, in case you're curious, that is 15 millimeter. Little tiny guys, not 28 millimeter or what passes for them these days. But I've been doing that. I've been having a pretty good time. And this evening I got some much needed advice on doing some resin printing from Doomsword. He was kind enough to lend me his expertise. And so I'm going to be setting up the resin printer probably this weekend if I can get everything together for the fume hood to pull the smell of the resin out of the house and vent it to the outside so everyone can enjoy it. So I'm going to be doing that. And what else is happening game wise? Well, we're playing Gamma World tonight. That's going to be awesome. And speaking of things Cold War and such related, next week, I'm still trying to nail down whether it's going to be Wednesday or Thursday. Next week, Mike C will be here. Mike is working on a Cold War Gone Hot thriller. Think in the vein of Red Storm Rising or Team Yankee, or and this is a little obscure, but some of you may have read it, The Third World War and the Third World War, The Untold Stories, by General Sir John Hackett, which came out in like 1979. It really kind of kickstarted the genre of what if we had a Third World War, NATO versus the Warsaw Pact, and we didn't nuke each other out of existence. What would that be like? What would the headlines be? What would the story from the battlefield be? So that is a book that Mike is writing. Mike is also an avid war gamer, so we're going to talk about the intersectionality between tabletop wargaming and the fiction he's working on. And I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you guys are too. So that's happening. And then also on the 10th, which is a week from this Wednesday, I think, or a week from this Thursday. Let's see here. That is a week from this coming Thursday on the 10th. RPG Elite will be here. That's right. You guys shared the video. I watched the video. I checked his channel out. I subscribed to his channel. RPG Elite will be in the house, and we're going to talk to him. So if you guys have got any questions, anything you want to discuss with RPG Elite on the live stream, then please, you can put them over in Discord, or you can put it down in, you can put it down in the comments box tonight. I'll try to remember it. But he will be here, and we'll talk about his channel and things that he does and projects that he's worked on and gaming experience, and just gamer to gamer or gamers to gamer. So I'm looking forward to that. Got a couple other things in the works too. A couple of other fun things in the works too. In my perambulating around in the digital sense in YouTube today. Now, I tend to stay away from Twitter. I avoid it like the cancer it is. I did not see any more noise about the Games Workshop NDA situation. I mean, I don't think it's gotten better. I don't think Games Workshop has started issuing apologies and begging people to pretty please don't be mad at them, and they'll make it right, and so on and etc. But I also didn't hear that, Games Workshop had started mailing dead rats to people. Which, I mean, let's be honest, Games Workshop would not mail dead rats to people for free. So I guess it's situation normal, all fucked up with that. Nothing has changed. Lord of the Rings is still getting ratio to hell and back. Nothing has changed on that front. So we continue forward. One thing of a couple of things I meant to do yesterday on the stream, I got emotional. We got talking about stuff a little hot under the collar, is we talked about, I didn't bring you guys up to speed on the Monday night campaign. So I'm going to do that here in a little bit. And then at 9:30, which is a little bit away. It's not a huge amount of time away, but it's a little bit away. We will find out what those intrepid adventurers stalking around the irradiated world of Gamma World will find. So that's coming at 9:30. So if you're just tuning in, if you're just stopping by and you're like, hey, it says let's play Gamma World, what's going on with that? Well, that's what's going on with that. We're going to be kicking off our Friday night Gamma World campaign in just a little bit. So all in all, good stuff is happening. But well, there are no buts. There are no negatives. I do want to share with you guys, though, the Monday night roundup. Random Friday Night Geek Out. The daughter of Steven Tyler and stepdaughter of Todd Rundgren portrayed the elf Arwen in The Lord of the Rings. You didn't know that? I knew that. I knew that way back when. Passerby. Oh God, that's the Games Workshop would seal dead rats in resin and charge you $300 per rat. This is a maximum size game. Yeah, they would. They absolutely would. Skaven are totally, absolutely not the were rats from Langmar. They're completely unique. Despite the fact that they have mafia / evil god worshipping cults and they infest the major cities of the empire. Yeah, no. These are completely different rat men. But yes, I knew of Liv Tyler's lineage once upon a time. I think it's super cool. Aerosmith would have ties to Lord of the Rings in the 60s. Yeah, no kidding. I know. I heard a rumor, and I can't remember how true this is or is not. But I heard a rumor once that Ralph Bakshi wanted Led Zeppelin to do the music for The Lord of the Rings, his 1978, 77, whenever he did his book one of Lord of the Rings. He wanted Led Zeppelin to make the music. And by the time word got around, like word got back to them, because they were still together at this point. Zeppelin didn't break up till after John Bonham's death, which was in 1980. It was only a couple of years later, but there we go. By the time word got around to them, because it was never an official request, the word from them now is them, John Paul Jones, John Bonham, Robert Plant, Jimmy Page, or is it just Robert Plant, or was it just Jimmy Page, or was it just John Bonham, or was it just John Paul Jones? I don't know. Or was it just their agent, their A&R man? But by the time word got to them, they gave an enthusiastic yes. But at that point, the movie was in final edit. A process that Ralph Bakshi had to literally lock United Artists personnel out of his editing studio, like had to lock the door from the inside so they could not come in and get their hands on the film and edit it, because apparently they wanted to edit it down to like 71 minutes or something. So mind you, I'm not one of those guys that thinks that Ralph Bakshi's The Lord of the Rings is some masterpiece. For years, it was the only Lord of the Rings we got, but it was not great. If you haven't seen it and you want to see it for the oddity that it is, sure, check it out. And until Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings came out, the Rankin Bass The Hobbit, the Ralph Bakshi Lord of the Rings, and the Rankin Bass Return of the King were really the only way to kind of get the whole Lord of the Rings story on screen. Yes, Wizards is a great movie, Vincent. You should absolutely see Wizards. Here's a little trick Mom showed me when you weren't around. I'm glad you changed your name, you son of a bitch. Blam, blam. Anyway, yes, you should absolutely see Wizards. It's Ralph Bakshi at his stealing from Vaughn Bodie finest. But anyhow, so yeah, to what extent he wanted to make the that is they, Led Zeppelin, to what extent they wanted to make the soundtrack for Lord of the Rings, I don't know. That's one we might have to ask Robert Plant. I'll ask him the next time he's on the show. I promise. The next time Robert Plant is on my live stream, that'll be the first thing I ask him. And suddenly my number of viewers like skyrockets. Oh, he's going to have Robert Plant's never going to come on this live stream, guys. Anyway, so yeah, that was also another missed opportunity. Was apparently Mick Jagger wanted to voice Elrond. Mick is a Lord of the Rings fan, which I think is awesome. He wanted to voice Elrond, or maybe Legolas. He wanted to be involved in some way. And again, it was a case of missed communications, missed with a D, communications, because by the time word got back around to Bakshi, he was like, I would have loved to have had you. I think that would have been awesome. We're done. The movie's almost done. And it says that could have been as iconic as Queen's Flash soundtrack. Yeah, and it was from it was from the same period. Queen's, yeah, Flash Gordon's a strange little film. And it's all from around that same era, isn't it? You had Flash Gordon, Lord of the Rings, or some other just very offbeat science fiction of the day back then. Um, One that was it was a dual release in Japan and the United States, and it bombed in both places. Was Message from Space, which featured an international cast. Like there's a bunch of people in both movies, like a bunch of actors who are big in Japan, and then a bunch of actors who were kind of well known in the West. Like Vic Morrow is in it, is in Message from Space. And it's a live action science fiction movie. They kind of wanted it to be like almost Star Wars in its epic sweep, but God, I love the Japanese. They don't make good live action science fiction movies. Even stuff from the 80s, like by the time they had blue screening here in the States down pat, and computer control camera movements. I mean, you look at how good Star Wars looks. You can't see wires and threads and so forth in Star Wars because they're using, chroma keying and color separation and stuff like that. Heavy metal, thank you, Vincent. Rock and roll, rock and roll. Buck Rogers was a little less strange, but yeah, it's kind of up there. And rock and roll is one of my favorites from that period. But yeah, the Japanese, live action science fiction movies are just not good. I don't. Now, so let me tell you what, I will hold Akira up against any American cyberpunk genre picture. And with the exception of Blade Runner, it beats them all going in and out. But their live action stuff is just. And Message from Space, it's a movie whose ambitions totally drape over its abilities. But I can't hate it. I can't hate it. It is a really, really, really good, sincerely good, bad movie. I mean, for my money, like if you ask me, hey, do you want to watch Message from Space or do you want to watch Battle Beyond the Stars? I'll be like, oh, Battle Beyond the Stars. Because the effects in Battle Beyond the Stars are better, particularly Sybil Danning's effects. Both of them. But I should stop. So yeah, it was a strange time for live action science fiction and animated science fiction, and it seems like it just seems like it got it got left behind. So I remember seeing an article, or maybe it was something, but it was like uh, it was something. It was titled "Hollywood's Greatest Era, 1938," and it wasn't like Hollywood's greatest era, and we're focusing on the year 1938 in that era. No, it was the year 1938 because all of these landmark movies came out in 1938. Gone with the Wind, The Wizard of Oz, and just so many more in almost every genre that just literally shaped the way Hollywood made movies going forward. And I wonder if one day they'll look back and say, Hollywood's greatest era, 1977 to 1980. That 3 years was their greatest, because Star Wars, Message from Space, uh, well, Message from Space doesn't count, but Star Wars, heavy metal, uh, Lord of the Rings. I mean, probably not. Realistically, probably not. Probably not. Yeah, it's funny. As good as the heavy metal soundtrack is, I mean, you had Black Sabbath with Ronnie James Dio, The Mob Rules, the titular track by Sammy Hagar, Open Arms by Journey, Working in a Coal Mine by Devo. Um, oh, what was it? You had some Glenn Fry on there. I'm trying to remember what Glenn Fry did on that soundtrack, but there was a lot of great stuff on that soundtrack. And I literally cannot remember a single thing about the Heavy Metal Fact soundtrack other than, I think, and I could have this wrong, I think KMFDM had a track on it. I think. And that's only because I was a huge KMFDM fan at one point, less so as the years have gone on. But yeah, that's the heavy metal too. The one significant overriding thing I know about heavy metal too is a dear friend of mine worked for video game companies and wrote the instruction book for the Heavy Metal 2 FAC video game. That was her job. The company she worked at, she wrote the instruction manual. Veteran of the Psychic Wars, of course. Boom boom ching, dum dum ching. Just starts off with that droning minor key. It just such good stuff. Such good stuff. Thank you for reminding me of that. Yes, Marcy. I it's weird. I normally don't associate Veteran of the Psychic Wars with heavy metal. I think of it as like a standalone soundtrack, or a standalone song rather than a piece of the soundtrack. So I forget it, and oftentimes people have to remind me. Veteran of the Psychic Wars, Bill. Oh, okay. The movie was intense. The movie was uneven. The movie was very funny in places. Den is hilarious. Richard Corbin's Den. The Tarna sequence is very good. Oh gosh. The Hanover Fist bit is also hilarious. The B-17 one, which was written by Dan O'Bannon. Now here's a piece of trivia for you. Gremlins is so. Dan O'Bannon wrote a story called Gremlins, and it was kind of based on ideas. No offense to Dan O'Bannon, but Dan O'Bannon really was a guy who had one really good idea and worked it over again and again, kind of like George Lucas. Dark Star was written by Dan O'Bannon. And Dark Star is essentially a precursor to Alien. He took the idea of a mischievous creature, the beach ball in Dark Star, and expanded it out and wrote a short story called Gremlins, which is about a B-29 crew over Japan that is plagued by actual literal gremlins who try to cause their airplane to crash. And I can't remember if the culmination is they eventually do, or they kill the crew and like land the plane back at a base and then scatter out of the airplane to wreak havoc on other B-29s while, the ground crew comes up and they're like, who killed all the crew? Which he then worked into the B-17 sequence in heavy metal. And of course, Alien is something's loose on the ship and killing us off. I'm a smart bomb. Yes, the Harry Canyon sequence almost certainly. I mean, what is the Fifth Element other than one of those issues? Like, you guys have read Heavy Metal magazine. You know the issues of Heavy Metal where it was like one issue was an entire story. It wasn't like an anthology issue. One issue was an entire story or an entire big chapter of a story. There were issues of Heavy Metal like that. That's what the Fifth Element was. It was, you know, Jean Giraud, Mobius, not our Mobius, unfortunately. But I like our Mobius anyway. But Jean Giraud, his vision writ large on the screen. It was an issue of Heavy Metal done as a live action movie. And it was better than we had the right to expect. I heard you, Vinny. You're more of a fan of Alien over Aliens. I think they're both good. I think they both carry a lot of weight. Now, if you want to see the chief influences, both plot-wise and visually, for Alien, there's two movies you should check out. The first one is It, The Terror from Beyond Space. Ship lands on a planet, picks up an unwanted guest, gets back out into space, and it proceeds to stalk the crew through the ship, killing them off one at a time until finally they blow it out in airlock. I mean, that is basically the story of Alien. Not everybody dies. It's a 1950s sci-fi horror movie, so lots of people survive. They weren't into the whole final girl thing back then, or, you know, the dark, ironic ending, like, you know. But visually, you should check out a little Italian sci-fi horror movie from the 1950s called Planet of the Vampires. And Planet of the Vampires, the set dressing of Planet of the Vampires, well, just watch it. I think you can probably find it for free on YouTube. But the visual aspects of Planet of the Vampires, the like I said, the set pieces, the set design, there's like this huge mummified skeleton that leaves like the crew that lands on the planet wondering, you know, oh gosh, what is this about? You should absolutely check out Planet of the Vampires if you want to see a real bold, obvious fingerprint on the visual design of Alien. I do recommend it. And it's you know what, here, let's see. So let's have a quick gander here. It's a 1965 release. Oh yeah, well right here, there's Alien Planet of the Vampires, cinematic and contextual comparison. But you should check it out. It is a worthy watch. Passerby is saying in the docu about Joe Rodowski's Dune. Comparison is made between the storyboard and the scenes from movies that came after the film. Element isn't one of them, but I believe. I can believe it. I can believe it. A lot of people say that Joe Rodowski's Dune was basically picked apart, was stripped down to its carcass by other filmmakers. I think we've talked about that before. I'm not going to say it whether it's wrong or whether it's right, just that we have discussed it before, and it's something I acknowledge. It showed up in a lot of places. But we've talked a lot about Alien, but I want to catch you guys up on what's going on the Monday night game, and let's see. Isn't this nice? Isn't this better than me like yelling and getting angry about the hobby and things like that? We're just all kind of hanging out here and just talking about fun stuff about movies and things like that. That's much cooler. It's much cooler, baby. Much cooler. So let's see here. All right. So we're going. I just got to get my script up here, guys. Hang on a second. So this is Holy Mountain's still a little messed up. Yeah, Jorodowski is not okay. I mean, guys, he was going to turn his son over to a Shining Path cell so they could train him in guerrilla tactics so he could better get into Paul's mindset. He was like 14. Well, son, I want to film the movie about Dune, don't you know? Okay, Papa, what shall I do? You will play the Paul Atreides, the leader of the Fremen. Oh, it sounds wonderful. How will I learn the role? Will I read the script? None. I will send you with the terrorists to live in the jungle for 6 months. Pick you up then. Just like, my God, man. Could you maybe get like a special forces guy on set to give him a workout every couple of days, something like that. All right. So here we are. This is Adventures in Greyhawk, Part 15, Igwil's Prize. Dramatis Personae, Bran Grayson, 9th level cleric, Petra Hammersdaughter, 8th level fighter, Grindel Greyaxe, dwarven fighter of 8th level, Etho, dual classed magic user cleric, 5 in each, Carleon, human paladin, level 7, Logan, human ranger, level 6, Veneran, human magic user, level 6, Kane, human thief, level 7, Jadon, druid, level 7, Rabindranath, human bard, level 8, Feanorf, the fighter, level 7, Jane, the NPC paladin, level 1, Braun, the NPC lieutenant, who is a 7th level fighting man, and of course, Alindra, the half-elf fighter, magic user, thief. I believe she is 656. Having fought through the Bar Lagura demons, the adventurers gave themselves some succor. Knowing the dangers of carrying on with injuries but with no magics to treat them, they instead retreated to the lesser caverns to establish their shelter and then return later to the greater caverns and search for an entrance to the circumscribed chamber, if indeed that's what it was. A night's rest and more healing spells later, they journeyed back into the lower cavern complex. The party opened a 6th door and found themselves teleported again to another 30 by 30 chamber. Following the exit north, they meandered along a yet unexplored corridor until the recognized passage that led to the huge east-west spanning gallery where they'd fought the gargoyle-like creatures and encountered the strange dragon beast Lud. Now, having some idea of their location, they turned south to explore more in that direction. Passing a corridor to the side, they heard a ticking growl and the sound of many claws scrabbling over the stones. Etho created a wall of ice with his wand of frost, but almost immediately it was blasted down by a stroke of lightning. The front ranks of the group were injured by steam and shards of ice that flew like arrows into them. Immediately crawling through the now open wall of force was none other than the beast Lud. Now eat, dwarf, it hissed and lunged forward. Blows fell on the abomination, but it was undeterred. Jaden cast fairy fire, illuminating the creature, making it easier to strike. Coiling around Grindel, the beheer crushed and clawed him while the party attacked. In the next round, still pinching and shredding with its forelegs, the beheer swallowed the dwarf with a slurp and a crunch, and then turns its attention to the rest of the party. All now focused on cutting the beast open and freeing their companion. Lud lunged forward, but before it could attack another one of the company, it screeched and hissed and convulsed as Grindel burst forth from its gullet. The redoubtable dwarf had cut his way free from the monster, slaying it in the process. The beast's gizzard was searched, and an interesting greenish gem was discovered. After healing as best they could, Logan suggested that they follow the creature's tracks. It might have a lair or a nest nearby. A mate or young seeking revenge could be powerful enemies to face. Also, it might have treasure. So the party followed the trail as discovered by Logan the Ranger through the hallway the beast had attacked them from. While crossing it, though, something almost worse hove from a nearby niche. A terrible Umber Hulk lunged out and seized Grindel. Rending and tearing with its iron-hard claws and mandibles, the Hulk beamed its gaze around, trying to confuse all in the combat with it. Braun was struck dumb and stood unmoving. Logan was fully confused and found himself in a chamber full of unknown beings, all of whom were shouting and thrashing around. He attacked the nearest, driving his sword into Rabindranath. The Umber Hulk delighted in the confusion it was sowing. It continued to rend the dwarf, but the party fell on it with a vengeance, and before it could further confuse them, while the fighters of the party stood and hacked and slashed the creature, Etho blasted it with magic missile. Before it could retreat, the party again hacked it, and it fell dead. More healing spells were cast, and the alcove the creature had sprung from was examined. A tunnel through the solid rock of the cavern floor was espied. It was large enough to allow the huge beast to move easily through, and went some distance downward into the north. Loath to enter what might be a lair of more of its kind, the party instead investigated the digging and were rewarded for their efforts. A huge round diamond was found pressed into sticky blue clay near the lip of the entry to the Umber Hulk's tunnel. Gathering their strength, the party continued to follow Lud's claw tracks. Logan was careful to observe where the prints were, on the lookout for possible tracks leading not only across the floor, but up the walls and possibly overhead. Sometime later, they found that the tracks led to a long, eastward stretching cavern. Nearest to their entry was a pile of bones and a fall. The tracks continued no further, so they concluded that Lud must have dwelt in this miserable place and roamed around looking for things to eat periodically. The party turned back to the west, and again erected Daern's instant fortress and rested. Their hope was to find the sixth and possibly final entrance to the central location and learn what might lie beyond the identical halls of red and black marble. Using their healing spells, they journeyed southward through the caverns to the last unexplored passage into the Nexus. On reaching the inner ebony door, the Fellowship found that, rather than magically sending them to an unknown location in the caverns, this one opened instead into a strange central room. Before them was a huge 40-foot diameter spherical chamber. The entryway was shielded from view by a finely crafted wooden screen, but peering around it, the party could easily see that the entire chamber, despite its odd appearance, was opulent beyond their wildest imaginings. The upper half was a dark twilight blue color in hue, while the bottom was deep greens, as if the lower half were a sea or a meadow to the upper half's evening sky. Hanging from a golden chain was a marvelous lantern that shone, giving off a multicolored light, through many of its panes. Lying directly beneath it was a store of gorgeous objects, vases of crystal and alabaster, small tables, shelves, and a decanter filled with gems. Lying atop an alabaster slab was a beautiful maiden clad in all black plate mail, its details picked out in gold and chased in silver. Her night-dark raven tresses and full red lips and delicate features matched those of the maiden seen in the paintings in the hallways. No discernible traps were detected. Bran Grayson and Carleon made their way carefully to the bottom of the sphere. As they did so, Petra called out, "It's likely a vampire," and she made ready with a flask of holy water. Grindel likewise readied his crossbow of speed, and from behind the screen, through the gaps in its design, took aim. Brand approached the sleeping maiden. Her hands lay on the hilt of a huge bastard sword, its quillions below her breasts, the point between her feet. As he obsealed the curve of the sphere, she slowly sat up, pressing her hands to her forehead as if waking from a deep dream. She extended her hand to him, beckoning. A rush of affection and comity overwhelmed the cleric. He felt friendship and perhaps love towards the fair warrior. But the sensation passed. When he reached the even floor, her warm smile twisted into a vicious sneer. Her sword leaped into her hand, and she drove its point through Brand's armor and twisted it. A shock of agony racked the cleric, but he held his own. She laughed evilly, calling out an epithet in Old Sul, which only Caerleon could understand via his helm of comprehending languages. Grindel fired his crossbow, striking the fiend. Petra hurled a flask of holy water, which struck their foe, its contents burning her flesh and eliciting a scream of hatred and pain. The battle with Drelsna was joined. So that's Monday night's game. Oh, Ron, you're DMing it now. I'm glad. Where are your adventurers at? Let's see. Passerby says, I can't find confirmation of that rumor, but Jodorowsky did give his son to a martial arts expert that gave him a training comparable to Pai Mei did to the bride in Kill Bill. It's not much better than turning him over to the Shining Path terrorists. Now, son, go to your karate lessons. My ribs are broken. Anyway. So that is the Monday night game. That is what's going on in the Monday night game. And I hope you guys like that. We got some time to kill before we start Gamma World tonight. I had to switch over to water. They're still in the Lesser Caverns. Awesome. The whole module is wonderful. If you've never played or DM'd Lost Caverns of Sojkanth and you love classic D&D, go play it. Lost Caverns of Sojkanth is lots of fun. I do recommend Lost Caverns of Sojkanth. It is steeped in Greyhawk lore. It has an attached module. Now, I've talked about Lost Caverns before on the show, but it has an attached module, WG5, Forgotten Temple of Tharizdun, which is steeped in even more Greyhawk lore. I mean, honestly, Gary could have published a box set that was, and called it, I don't know, Quest in a Parent Land or something like that. But the whole of both modules makes a long running. You can take characters from like the 6th or 7th level that they would enter this module at, and literally by the end of it, they would be ready for the Giants series. Mobius says they sure made short work of the Be Here. They did, but this party is a little high level for Sojkanth, but I wanted to run it anyway. And I don't think in my dramatic reading I really gave the Be Here its due, because it shredded Mark's dwarf Grindel. I mean, it tore him to pieces with those multiple claw attacks that it could make and the bite. And when I rolled that 20, that slurp, gulp, chomp, swallow, was quite a lot of fun. It was quite a lot of fun. So I kind of downplayed that. I didn't do it blow by blow, but the Be Here gave him more trouble than that. And if they hadn't thrown up that wall of ice, if he'd gotten his full breath attack off, it would have been bad. I still had them. I still had them take damage. I basically took the plus 24 because it is, gosh, what is it, like 3d8 plus 24 damage. So it's like 27 to 48 points of damage that you can take. So I took the I think I took the 3d8 off, or the plus 24 off, or something like that. If it had blasted them with this lightning bolt, it would have been over pretty damn quickly. But they have a whole different issue on their hands. Let me tell you what, Drelsna is one bad bitch. She is very, 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 very tough. She gets multiple attacks per round. She is, thanks to her sword and thanks to her strength, she is plus 10 to hit. You heard that right. She is plus 10 to hit. When I rolled that d20 and the party saw me roll 1d20 plus 10, just the collective on the line there when I was on the stream, like, it was enough to make my ears pop. So Dungeon Minister is asking where we're at. Well, let's take a gander. I don't know. I don't know if we're up yet. Let me see here. YouTube, let's see. Nope, still sitting at 957. Still sitting at 957. Let's see. Jack Photon says, that's a better faith than the 28 brass men from Shaolin Soccer, or was it God of Cookery? I have seen Shaolin Soccer and I thought it was hilarious, but I haven't seen God of Cookery, so I don't know. It must be, I don't remember 28 brass men in Shaolin Soccer, so it must be God of Cookery. Ron says there's so much, it's a little daunting, but it flows so darn well. Really, once you get into the caverns, well, no, once you get into the caverns, it doesn't get better. It's daunting all the way along. And I honestly feel like it's, there are parts of it that, like, literally I was just like, as a dungeon master, this is hard to play. And forget the point of view of a player. As a DM, this is hard to play. The force pillars with the pentagrams that you can get teleported to, that's really hard. You know, the room where you have to fight the suits of armor, or the room where you have to run away from or fight the minotaurs, those are pretty straightforward. The outdoor area where you have to help the centaurs, other than the other than the shoe horse part to get back, that's a little strange, but manageable. The pillar room the long pillared hall, and you got to scratch a pentagram in the floor and float up and touch it, and then it can teleport you someplace else, like dimensionally, just send you someplace else. Man, I just had to, I had to take a minute on that. And I've run this module now like 3 times. It's not easy. It is not easy. Ron says the vampire and White Plume Mountain kicked their butts, so Drellsnut is going to. Yeah, they're gonna start having flashbacks. You're gonna have some PTSD issues once Drellsnut shows. But remember, Ron, remember this. Remember this. This is important. The magic of the lantern negates all detection. And she won't attack immediately unless they have a lawful good cleric. Her sword, which is chaotic evil and highly intelligent and with a strong ego, is purpose built to slay lawful good clerics, which is a lawful good cleric walked right up to her slab in my campaign. But the magic of the lantern and whatever other charms are on the cape, they're not just going to walk in, oh, she's evil, we're just going to stand off and fireball her to pieces. So just keep it in mind. Don't let your players walk in and be like, detect evil. I'll cast no alignment. It says in the description, beyond these doors, no detection, no scrying, not even a wish spell works. So as far as I'm concerned, that's the inner sphere as well. And if she takes her time, and if you play her intelligently, and one at a time, she charms members of the party to come down, she has a whole new coterie of friends and snacks. And she will play with them forever and ever and ever and ever. So don't be afraid. The paladin does like to detect evil all the time. Well, it's not going to work. You just say, no, you don't detect evil. I thought you said I didn't detect evil. You didn't detect evil. You didn't detect anything at all. So have some fun with it. Don't just let them just because, no lawful good cleric. So, oh well. Well, if they figure it out and they're just like, well, we're just going to attack her anyway. Like, Bob just kind of went down there and gave her a big hug. And now Bob's looking pale and has a couple of pinpoint wounds in his throat and is smiling and waving, saying, come on down. We're going to attack her. She still gets plus 10 to hit. She's still deadly. She is still incredibly deadly. Now, I've had some players argue with me that the Draco Lisk that's elsewhere in the dungeon is a far worse foe because it's half black dragon, half basilisk. It can turn you to stone and breathe acid on you and destroy all your equipment. I disagree. You play Drellsness smart. And remember, you've got clerics that are going to be casting, they're going to be trying to turn undead and so on and etc. Literally, the first thing she should do in combat is summon giant bats. Or not giant, is summon bats. And they will interfere with anything the clerics are trying to do. So just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind. So I think that I have invitations out to everybody who's playing in tonight's game. If you're playing in tonight's game and you're watching the stream, or if you're hanging out in Discord, let me make sure that there's nothing discordant I haven't gotten any messages in Discord from anyone saying, "Hey, I can't. Where is anyone?" But if you haven't gotten an invite to the game, ping me, and I'll send you an invite. But I want to take a minute before we get started. I want to take a minute because I forgot to do this. This is the other thing I forgot to do last night. Now, I have Patreons who contribute to the channel, and I thank you guys very much. Your extra videos and your adventures for the tiers of Patreons are coming. They are coming. But I do want to thank the folks who contribute, because honestly, everybody that watches the stream, you contribute to the stream. You really do. You guys go out and you tell people, hey, subscribe to this guy's channel. He's going to have a mini con. And I hope you tell them also, hey, subscribe to this guy's channel. He's going to have a mini convention. And he's really, really awesome. I hope you do that too. But the guys on Patreon, so I'm gonna take a minute to thank them because I forgot to last night. Oh, and by the way, I see this popped up on Patreon, and I wanna, dude, I don't know why you'd say this. So over on Patreon, Bluto says, I'm watching the live stream. RBR is ruined. I'll explain that some other day to you guys. So here I am. I just want to make sure that I'm not messing anything up watching the stream. Good Lord, no. Absolutely not. Look, this stream is for everybody and anybody who just kind of wants to nerd out and hang out and do nerdy, fun things with me and just have a good time. Bluto, from the bottom of my heart, you are welcome to hang out on Discord and nerd out with us and watch the streams and whatnot. Now, let me tell you guys, I'm going to embarrass this dude, okay? You know, I talk a lot of smack about being a tough guy, and a lot of us do, and that sort of thing. Bluto has been there and done that, all right? His office has been a 3-foot wide, 7-foot long Lexan covered box that sits at the end of rocket engines before, okay? Bluto has really, really been here and done that. You are always welcome to watch my streams. You do not apologize for hanging out and watching my streams, sir. All right? And comment over in the audience. I almost missed that, bro. So here I want to take a minute. I want to thank the I want to thank our patrons here. Thank you, Digital Discord, Joshua Garlock, Lord Corion, Ricky Maru, Mobius, Kevin Reynolds, Joseph Lucas, Doomsword Deathmaster, Mark Simpson, Damian X247, James F. Keck. We love that observatory. William Smith, the Dungeon Minister, and Manny Wall. Thank you guys very much for contributing to the Patreon. It's awesome that you do. All the contributions you guys make, however you contribute to the channel, even if it's just sitting there with your feet up and a cold beer, watching me babble and stumble over and have Biden-esque pauses. We're not getting political, guys. However you do, and I appreciate it, and I always appreciate it. You guys are awesome. So in just a minute here, we're gonna enter the next level. We're going to come down into the next level of the room. And for those of you who've been hanging out, who maybe don't know what we do here on Friday nights, all right, maybe you don't know what this is all about. You just stumbled on it on the internet or somebody told you about it. We're going to play first edition Gamma World. We're going to live stream first edition Gamma World. So I'm going to check the comments here. I'm going to see some comments and put the Patreon thing back up. If anybody else wants to contribute to Patreon, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine. Ben says, sweet, attempting nerding. He's lying. I'm more like Randy Quaid. Well, I assumed you were like Randy Quaid on Independence Day. I was just trying to put lipstick on that pig. But anyway, so we're about to jump into it. I'm thinking I almost have everyone here. I almost clicked the wrong thing. That would have been bad. I'm going to remove that. Let's see. So we're just about set. And again, if I've missed anybody, if there's anybody out there who's like, oh boy, I can't wait to be on the show tonight. Where's my invite? If you're like, you know, I apologize. Message me. I'll put the link up. I'm going to get my cans on now. He hates these cans. And we're fixing to play some Gamma World. Without further ado, I am going to turn that off, although that was a very funny comment. If Games Workshop did ship dead rats to someone, they would be sealed in Lexan, and they would charge people $300 a piece for them because giant dire Skaven miniature. Good evening, good evening, good evening, Gamma World participants.
Good evening.
Hello, good to see you all. Now,
hello.
Who are we missing from the lineup? Is there somebody I haven't sent an invite to? I think we're all...
Just missing Bronco.
Yep.
Let's see. All right, well, I've got the invite out there, so hopefully everyone will hop on. So how are you gentlemen this evening?
Doing well.
So far, so good.
Good.
Excellent.
Other than getting my butt kicked at work, I'm doing great.
All in the day's work.
Oh, pardon my munching, by the way. I'm starving.
All I ask is that if it's something really crunchy, just mute your mic while you're on. So it's chicken. Okay, all right. Well, if your chicken's going crunch, 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 maybe I don't know. Don't fry it so much. I don't know. Anyway, so welcome back. For those of you who have not been following along and you're wondering what this little thing that we're doing here is, this is the international sign for a thing that we're doing. We are playing first edition Gamma World. Adventure in a world they never made, a world ravaged by nuclear, biological, and chemical weapons, hurled at nations brought low. But that was the ancient time. And now, out of the ruins, the fires of destruction, you have all left your isolated enclave of survivors. Some of you, the offspring of those terrible, terrible hours. Mutated, changed, some would say corrupted, others would say uplifted, beyond what mere humanity had created in centuries past. And now you traipse across the wilderness on your own quest to find out what happened to the precious supplies that keep your villages functioning. Why have the supply lines gone quiet? This is what you set out to find out. And in doing so, you've discovered a building of the ancients, filled with terrifying and unusual objects and contraptions, some of which have nearly cost you your lives. But you persevered. If an answer can be found in this structure, you must seek it out. You must discover it. But if your future lies elsewhere, then getting out of this building is your first step towards survival. So, last week you had found the strange room with glass walls and tables lined up in perfect rows along the floor. On each table, trays, platters, strange objects and instruments. But in the center of the room, occupying its own space, with some distance between it and the tables, was an even smaller inner room of semi-transparent glass. Now, someone had reached out and opened the door. Who was that last week?
I believe that was me.
You believe that was you. Okay, so you
I can't remember, so it must be. He must be right.
half-meter wide paw on the door and pulled it open there.
Uh-huh.
The door does come open, but when it does, there's a honking and a ringing sound, and lights along the length of the corridors, because this room is at the nexus of those corridors. It's like a corner office, for lack of a better term. But lights along the corridor are strobing off and on, rotating, it seems. And you're now standing in the room.
That's got to be a
The
bad
angels are
sign.
angry.
I think I made the room angry.
I almost hit the deck when it came on.
I make sure that Smith & Wesson is out and ready for use.
Okay, you have Smith and Wesson in your hand.
Is there
Loud noises
special
can't be good.
besides the noises and lights that I notice?
I'm sorry, is there anything that you notice beyond the noises and lights? What?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, other than kind of a stale, sort of musty, moldy smell when the door pops open, but you don't, you don't immediately notice anything. Now, the room within the room in the middle, you can now see, because the various symbology and stickers and signs that were on the glass door are no longer in your way, is perhaps 3 meters wide it's perhaps 1 meter wide and 3 meters long. And there are these strange tubes. It looks like some have come away from the ceiling, but on each face of the rectangular shape that the room within a room makes up, there are these tubes. They sort of look like headless and tailless worms of some white paper or leathern substance run up, but one of them has ripped in half and hangs down. There is a obvious door similar to the one on the outside that leads into this chamber.
So that's in another chamber.
Yes. And in that room is a smaller room. And in that room, a smaller room still.
Is this nesting rooms or something?
Yeah. Matryoshka Labs.
Well, then I'm going to back out of the room, seeing as there's all these sirens and
Yeah, I was about to say there's
lights.
probably something coming as a result of all this noise.
Mm-hmm. Not only that, something doesn't want us in there.
Yeah, something definitely wants to blow it up. I wonder if they're still around, or I wonder if they'll come back when it doesn't go boom.
Okay. While you're standing there talking about this, so as you're standing at the corner, you go into the room. The hallway that you haven't explored that way, you hear a grinding sound followed by a clang.
Like
A moment passes, and then it happens again, only it's louder and closer.
We should hightail it out of here, guys.
A moment passes, and you can now see with the flashing lights, even though it's dark in here, that seemingly sliding out of the floor, ceiling, and walls, irising shut,
Yeah, we're gonna get
are
trapped
metal
in here.
panels.
Let's run back to the shaft and get
I'm going to
back.
follow you, Esmar.
Yeah,
Or
we
Burrow.
gotta get out of here.
Bryn.
Otherwise, we'll be in this tomb forever. So we're gonna
Scooby-Doo run.
Yeah, we're gonna run back to the shaft and see if we can get back up to where the batters were, and if we can get out of the building. At least for now. I don't know about you guys, but I'm half dead.
Yeah, we'll
I
let
don't know if I can handle another one of those security robotoids.
Yeah, I'm half dead as well. Less than half dead.
Girk and Bubbles should probably go first since they're better climbers, and we'll follow them up. Let Brun go next since he's hurt. We'll keep an eye out for covering our retreat. Make sure.
So I'm gonna take my rope out as I'm climbing.
Just a moment. Directly in front of you, as you turn to leave, you can see the panels starting, and there's like a grinding sound, like A just stopping these things from immediately slamming shut.
Could we like put a table in there so they
But you
can't
see, it's.
Can we
it's close enough that you can dive through
Can we
it.
just jump through and grab that greasy cable or rope that got Oscar all dirty?
Well, this is directly in
Before
front
we-
of you, and you still have the length of the hall to go down.
All right. Book it down the hallway.
So, who's going through last? What order are you guys going in?
Well, Bubba's is naturally slow, so I mean he's trying to go as quick as he can, but he'll probably end up near the end of the pack.
Okay. What is Bubbles' dexterity?
His dexterity is 7, and because he has weight decrease, he also loses a quarter of his speed.
Yeah, Bubbles is going last.
I sure hope you don't get cut in half.
Okay, you
I
guys
do too.
you guys are scrambling along.
I mean, my dex is 15. I don't know if that plays anything with it. But I am also huge.
You are huge, which means you have huge guts. There's an obscure reference for you. Who's next in line, please? You made it through. Oscar, you scramble through.
I'm behind Oscar since I was traveling with him.
And what is your dex?
14.
All right, you dive through. The space is narrowing ever smaller. Who's next?
Brun's jumping through.
Brun, what is your dex?
15.
No problem. You make like an arrow. Who's next?
I'm going, and I got a 13 for Dex.
You just get through, and then
Boy.
you can see now, like shuddering and grinding, another set of doors have started to
Run,
fire
Bubbles,
shut
run!
a few meters down. Bubbles,
He's like waddling faster.
I'm standing outside going.
Bananas coming out of the corner of his mouth.
Don't lose them. They're important.
would you like me to roll a d20, or would you like to roll a d20?
Loses all the bananas.
Fate in his hands, do it yourself.
I'll leave it up to you.
You
Okay.
should be rolling that d20.
It's not going to matter. Uh-oh.
You guys dive through the first door. You're scrambling to the second door, and you hear this confused and pained ook behind you.
Oh, no.
And you look back just in time to see Bubbles most of the way through the door.
Oh.
Scunch.
Ah.
Oh, no.
And Bubbles is popped.
Oh.
Just
sorry,
the tail or
gang.
pure in half?
I'm sorry, what?
Just the tail or pure in half?
No, that was a pretty terrible roll.
Oh, good gravy.
Oh boy.
So as
Literally.
I watch his
I mean, like if it
part
had
of
been a
his
20,
corpse,
I would have said, okay, you don't even make it out. You know, you don't even get to the door, but it was bad, but not bad enough to save you.
as I watch the front part of his corpse fall down the shaft, I'm like, Bubbles.
Oh no, this is just the first door. You've got another.
Oh, okay.
There's still a series of doors in front of you, so don't
just
mourn
squash
for
the monkey.
long. All right.
Come on, guys,
Sorry,
we gotta go.
Bubbles. Run. We're running. Running and diving.
What are we dodging?
Diving through the holes
All right.
as they appear.
Yeah, so far you've all been
How
fairly
strong are you,
lucky.
Oscar? Start dragging Bubbles along with us.
He's in half.
Well, it's
Just a
easier to carry.
It's a pile of entrails. Just
My physical strength's only 10,
Yeah.
so not
What?
very strong. I'm
Big
just
guy.
big.
okay, and one last. So you make it to the oh my. You make it to the door that opens into the shaft, and directly, I mean, like right over the door, you make it there just in time to see this door beginning to iris shut. There is not going to be any. Okay, I step up and then I carefully jump out and grab it. It's going to be closed, and diving through it means straight down. So what are you guys going to do?
Is there any chance that all of us can make it, or we're gonna get somebody's gonna get stuck?
I don't know.
Run.
All of you can attempt to dive through, but again, the issue is that right on the other side of that door is a shaft that just goes straight down.
Right. It goes
Well,
far
there's-
too.
There's
the
also
table
a greasy
hanging down?
vine.
Yeah, there's that greasy vine.
Yeah, that's what.
If we can see it well enough to get to it.
True.
I mean, it's out there somewhere. I'll leave it up to you guys.
So when these valves shut, it's basically, what are you in, like a 3 meter long section of corridor sealed at both ends or something like that?
Yes.
There's no like ducts or anything that we can see, nothing exposed.
No, nothing exposed. The only other door is now on your left. It's the very first room you entered with the smoking hulk of the robot.
Oh, right, but there is access in the ceiling. Let's go in there and up in the ceiling. Probably a better chance of living than diving into a pit that we don't know how deep it is.
Guarantee that ceiling's not holding my weight. But I can help you up there.
While you're debating this, the door grinds shut, and there is a boom.
Boom.
And you hear clank, 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 clank from somewhere within the door.
This place got to be sealed. We're not getting through the ceiling, but we could try.
We might all be entombed forever.
Oops. Sorry.
Well,
guys.
can we go in? Can we go into that room? Can we open that door and go into the room? Avoiding the robot.
I think you guys
which I
like
recall
broke the
was
door down to
radioactive.
get in there. No, the door was cut open.
Yeah,
the
but
door was cut open by the security
droid.
I recall that the security droid was somewhat radioactive, so we should
severely radioactive.
Move around it and maybe get
I
around.
lift up my
to
hands,
the,
so still burned.
So Yang, you're going to roll up another character, or?
Well, I hadn't, but is there
Just do
a
it now.
place for another character to get in? This
Yeah, totally.
session?
Oh yeah. I just start creating. I'm the game master. I can introduce anyone.
The robot comes back to life is now friendly.
All right, let me roll
like
someone up.
K2SO. I am here to
Yeah.
rescue you. Please don't resist.
We don't believe you. I guess go check out that room with the busted up ceiling.
Yeah. So, what can we see with the hole in the ceiling? Can we get up to it easily? What's up in there?
It looks like there are beams of metal flush against a sort of a discolored, completely smooth stone ceiling above it.
And does it seem like we can? How much access do we have above the ceiling? Is it just like an attic space above this room? Does it extend beyond the room's walls?
You think perhaps it extends at least to the edges of the room, if the strange squares of white fibrous material in their grid array or anything to go by, you think perhaps?
Is there anything up here?
Dust. And there are long silvery tubes that are a bit like the white tubes that connected to the strange room in the middle of the larger room where your current misadventure began.
And hidden mesothelioma.
There are bundles of viney material. You think it's the wires or the ropes that can carry power that the ancients talk about.
Anybody got any ideas of what we should try next?
So there's no obvious tunnels going through the walls or anything up in the ceiling?
No.
Okay. No vents whatsoever.
So no other obvious means of egress.
Not that you see, no.
We're stuck forever, guys. I sit down.
The bell was a nice touch.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. Don't worry about it. I didn't even know if it was you.
There is that huge tunnel that we went down that looked like all that big machinery could go up and down. We never went up. We did go down. But we'd have to go back.
Yeah, can we even get to it because of all the iris valves?
All the doors, yeah.
I mean, we're like so basically we're stuck in a section of iris valved corridor with only this room.
Right. There's the strange boxes, a couple of them with their glowing panels.
They have these strange glass boxes with the befuddling command architecture. Maybe we could roll on some tables and figure something out.
I'd hate to touch that robot again, but it did cut through the door we were hiding behind. Maybe it could cut through these irises. But
the robot is currently immobile, and there's wisps of acrid smoke coming from its inside. And it got so hot apparently when you were gone that it lit the floor on fire in a couple of places and kind of melted to it.
Ixnay on that plane.
So,
how many of the boxes are left intact, still functional?
Let's see. The robot destroyed one.
Oscar smashed a couple of people's heads.
Oscar smashed one, so there's at least one left.
I guess Gerg will go over and start trying to figure it out.
Okay. Alrighty. Well, let's find out what hilarious things are going to happen when you start tinkering with ancient technology.
Am I still rolling the 2d20 with my dual brain and all that jazz?
Nice.
Well, you do have your dual brain advantage, but it is just 1d10. What is your bonus with dual
D10.
brain?
I'm right. Oh, you're sorry. I'm wrong.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
Get my tens.
All right.
Last time I rolled 2d10 on the thing, so.
All right, let me just get to the chart. You have some familiarity. Wait, did you go all the way through one of the terminals yourself?
No.
You did not. Okay, all right. So you got a.
And he has been popped. So
yes. Okay. So what are we going to treat this as? All right. So start rolling.
a pair of twos.
A pair of twos. Okay. You press the large key over on the right. It's got an arrow that goes down and then curves and points to the left. You press that. There's a beep. A screen comes up. There are the very strange words there on the screen. The word, you're not sure what the word is, but it's the letters ADMIN. And then next to that is the word LOGIN. And then there's a series of 10. Well, they look like little stars next to it. So you press the enter key, and then you see password accepted.
Excellent.
And you are now looking at a white screen, a white image that has little cubes and something that looks like a little basket, and there's a black diamond shape in the middle of it. And there's a row of words across the top. One says help, the other says control, the other says file, and the next says about. You're not sure what those mean, but you did roll a second 2.
Yes.
So when you hit return, you bumped a little box to the side of the row of tiles, and it caused the black diamond to move.
Ah. Gurg will look back at everybody and like, hey, look what I did.
I'm going to check out what he did.
What sorcery is this?
Sorcery.
Okay. I guess he'll continue his investigation.
All right.
Very curious about the little box now.
Give me a couple of rolls.
A 4 and a 10.
A 4. Okay. You move the little box around and in your moving it, part of it feels kind of squishy and your finger touches that squishy part. And everything in front of you on the glass panel changes.
Ooh.
Everything changes. And there is a question mark and a little flashing line next to it. You know, roll again there.
Sure. A 3 and a 10.
A 3 and a 10. Okay. That is still on the screen, but it becomes about half of its size. And now it is on top of, somehow merged with, the previous image that you saw. But you didn't change its contents or anything in it.
Okay.
Give it another try.
Yep. A 6 and an 8.
A 6 and an 8. You just kind of move the thing around and press a couple of buttons and nothing changes.
Okay. Keep playing.
All right.
Got nothing better to do. We're stuck here if we don't do something.
Yeah. Get another quarter.
It is 6 and a 10.
Same thing.
Keep clicking.
All right.
It's in his wrench when we need him.
Pair of 2s.
A pair of 2s. Okay. There's a beep, and then you're back at the place where you were just before you got this weird black pane. It shrinks down very small and then runs away down to the lower left-hand corner of that pane. Like a little insect. It just...
Gurg will smack at the screen like he's trying to grab hold of it. He'll go back to the keyboard, the box, and start playing around with it some more. A 2 and a 3.
All right. Well, with the 2, Gurg moves the little box up, presses the button, and a row of words appears under one of the words that's at the top of the pane. And the word that you made the words appear under said functions.
I'll get everybody's attention and let them look at that.
All right.
Getting somewhere.
See if anybody can read them.
Okay. Can anyone here read?
I don't know.
For some definition of the word read, yes.
You recognize the letters of the ancients. There are many cryptic things here.
I mean, I have a 17 intelligence, so I'm pretty intelligent.
So sure, yeah. So you don't know the words. I mean, you can sound out some of the words. I mean, there's one that says stop. There's another that's like quit. You know, those very negative.
It's like your shield.
Yeah. There's one that says about. There's one that says help.
These ancients seem awfully pessimistic.
There's another word that, whereas these are all black letters on a white box, this one is inverted. It is a black box with white letters in that list, and it says lockdown.
Must be special. It's the only one of its kind.
It is the only one like that.
Do you think we should stop the lockdown?
There's an extremely long, strange word that you don't recognize at all. Like you try and sound it out, but I'll let's see. What is the? You know what? I'll put it over in our little private chat so you guys can see this. You have no idea what that means.
Cry on what?
So you make of that what you will.
Sounds sad.
What we do for Bubbles.
Told you they were pessimistic. Look, it says cry.
What we do for Bubbles.
We cry on it.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you doing with this?
I'll look at the others for a suggestion.
I think you should hit that button that's different.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe you can toggle the lockdown.
We'll try that.
Whatever that means.
We've got a pair of fives.
Okay. There's a beep. Another pane comes up. It doesn't change. It doesn't make the list behind it go away, and it doesn't change any other contents. But another pane comes up that says biohazard lockdown in progress. Decontam time, and then there's a whole bunch of flickering numbers. And then underneath that, it says, or override, use off card.
Oh, so I have those strange card-looking things with borders. Maybe one of those will work. Are there any slots or any way we could present ID?
And what is your intelligence?
10.
10. Okay. There's a thin slot that is just wide enough to accept the edge of this on top of the. There are many different lines and angles on this thing, but you think, well, maybe it can go in there because it looks to be about the same size as the card.
I got blue and yellow ones, guys. Which one do you think I should try?
Definitely the blue one.
Okay. I will insert the blue one some of the way, not all of the way, in case it's maybe not the right kind of slot. I don't want to lose it.
Okay. Well, it's only perhaps a centimeter deep. You put it in, and you notice that next to the slot, a light that you didn't see before flashes red for a moment, Then it flashes green. And what is on the pane before you, the words change to read, override accepted. You hear a very pleasant bonging sound resounding throughout the entire very high pitch bong, bong, bong.
It's way better than that clamor earlier.
And you hear a grinding noise.
Forlorn entombment avoided, guys.
Forlorn entombment avoided.
All right, we have ID cards, a blue one and a yellow one. So we know they still work.
Okay.
What happens when you stick the yellow one in?
Is that metal racket still coming? I want to check
the alarms. Have the alarms have stopped?
The alarms have stopped.
Are the iris valves able to open?
You hear the metallic sound again, but it's receding, not closing. Cool. Not closing in on you. It's receding. And the flashing lights outside in the hall are gone.
Great. All right.
So I looked to like where the shaft was. Is it open?
Yes.
Excellent. We did it, guys.
Nice. Do we want to? So let's figure out what's going on. We were on some kind of a mission for Steve, and we kind of like completely spaced on that.
Yeah.
So maybe everybody's starving and thirsty.
Maybe we should get back on it.
What of it? We're in this. Well, we're in this Tomb of the Ancients, which is probably pretty cool. I figure they're still starving and thirsty. They can hang for another day. We are like needing to heal, and that's going to take a while, considering how much damage some of us have taken.
Yeah.
But we do have more passageways we haven't gone down, and we have found stuff here. But somebody's trying to blow the place up, and there could be more robots. So
unsuccessfully trying.
Well, that's only because of
us,
our interloping selves.
Yeah.
But yeah, if they know that it didn't blow up, don't you think they're going to come back and see why?
Could be.
They're going to be like, damn, we screwed that one up. Better go do it again.
So the question is, do we want to stick around in this place and look around a little more, or do we want to go to that village that Steve wanted us to go to?
Yeah, I'm thinking...
I'm cool either way.
I think we should go down the road of the ancients.
Yeah.
We could always come back here on the way.
All right. We know about this place. We're going to get out of here since we have like managed to avoid dying, and maybe we can get some healing somewhere along the way. In any case, avoid security robots.
I'm assuming Gerg and I don't know about your mission fully.
Oh.
Or that village.
We're cluing you in on it right now.
Okay.
From down the hall, you hear, Who are you?
Who are we? Who are you?
It's a robot. Blast him.
And you see a guy who's wearing a white suit. He's got long, luxurious, dark hair and smoldering eyes. And he's dripping wet, and he's kind of staggering, holding on to the side of the walls.
Guys, it's one of those weird cryons we heard about.
Must be.
I don't know where I am. What's going on?
Do you remember who the president is?
What's a president?
I don't know. I forget. It's
Gerg will try to observe his thoughts to see what's going on here.
I'm sorry, Gerg is doing what?
Gerg is going to try to observe his thoughts to see what's happening.
It is a confused mess. If Gerg knew what television static was, that is what Gerg would be observing. But as it is just a smeary blur. This individual truly does not know who he is, he barely knows who he is.
Should I see if he's edible?
But beyond that, hey, I leave that up to the players.
Does he seem frightened or angry or?
Well, I don't know, Yang. Does your character?
What is your
Frank?
name?
I remember. My name is Rex. Rex Dashington.
Nice to meet you, Rex Dashington. I'm Brun.
What village are you from?
Village? Yes, I remember a village called Detroit.
Detroit.
Is that near here?
He's better off in the post-apocalypse.
I don't know. Where is here?
We are in the Tomb of the Ancients.
Why is there a talking raccoon?
He's pretty cool if you get to
He
know him.
doesn't actually talk. He just thinks things.
We are from Tekanish.
We're looking
Check
for food.
Are we in Asia then?
What is Asia?
Yes. You must not be native English speakers. I understand. It's okay. Where is everyone else, and why are you dressed so strangely?
These are the latest fashions of Tekamish.
Okay.
To
come
be
you're
fair,
wet?
there's not many tailors that
understand.
make something my size.
My mother
come you
sewed
were
these
wet?
clothes for me myself.
I was in one of the pods. I remember them telling me to get in and count backwards from 100, and then I woke up here and I heard these sirens, and your country must eat very well, judging by the size of that one. Points to Oscar. A lot of meat eaters, I see.
Yeah.
Well, if
Actually,
you don't
we're
have
on
any
the hunt for
friends, you can
food.
hang out with us.
Okay, that sounds great. So there's no one else here?
Just us.
Man, the last time I was in a pod, they said they wouldn't forget me again. All right, where do we go? What are we doing?
I'm Oscar,
we're gonna-
by the way. I extend a hand.
Hello, Oscar. And he'll, I guess, shake his big finger or something.
And I am Mo of the Tekanish, and I just raised my hand.
Hey, Rex, do you recognize this place?
Well, sure. This was a place they were doing genetic experiments, of course. And, like making more productive tomato plants and biological weapons, that sort of thing.
Do we know what a tomato is?
Yeah, you know what tomatoes are.
Have to check.
They're about this big around. Green. They're a little hard to track down, but once you catch them and fight off their mates, they're good eating.
Gurgle approach this new guy in the banana square that Bubbles gave him and hold it up to him and look at him and say, "Gurg."
Oh, thank you. Is this to help with disorientation when you awake from the pods? And he'll pop it in his mouth.
Gurg just kind of tilts his head, looks at him like, huh?
Did you give him one of the banana now-relators? Was
Yes,
it?
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
It has a very kind of sweet flavor to it. By the way, I have to. This is a little piece of trivia. I just have to share this. Banana now-relators don't taste like any bananas that exist anymore. But that's for another time. So yeah, it's kind of got this very good, light, sweet flavor to it. It's hard as a rock, but it tastes okay.
Do you recognize these? Can you tell us what they are?
Delicious. After all that time in the pod, it's just what I needed.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I think that these are kind of candy. I don't know. They taste like bananas, but yet not bananas. Thank you, young raccoon. And then he'll like try to scratch you under the chin. Your pet is very well trained.
Do you recognize what this place is where we are now?
Yes, the genetic facility, but I don't remember where exactly it was. I mean, I remember coming in here and I was working, and you would have to put a time card into the time clock or they dock you 15 minutes off your pay. I remember that distinctly. But
yeah, you remember it, yet it doesn't make it like you can't connect that to your current reality. It's like you have a book in your brain, but you can't associate it with any do you feel disassociated?
So you say you came from the pod. Do you know if there's like stuff, like equipment near your pod? Do you know any places where there'd be like Smith & Wesson? We need more Smith & Wesson.
Smith & Wesson?
Or these tomatoes you were talking about.
You mean a firearm?
I show him Smith & Wesson. Smith & Wesson.
Oh, hey, don't point that at me. Would I know anywhere?
Don't you want to communicate?
No, I don't want my arms on fire. Thank you.
Do you want to use my phone? There was a larger item than that actually back near your pod, but you know, this critter is waving it around like,
and he'll just, you know, every time it sort of comes towards his face, he'll just gently push it aside. I think back in the pod room there was some more stuff.
Guys, we should get more
I think
Smith
that's
&
what
Wessons.
they said they were going to put there.
Can you take us to the pods?
Sure. And he'll look for his wet footprints and retrace the way he came.
okay, well, it's really easy to follow because there was a layer of dust on the floor, and Rex, thank you. Rex Dashington
Yes.
had just come out of the pod, so there's now muddy footprints that lead to a room that you hadn't explored yet.
Ooh.
And the door is slightly ajar. It's been open from within, and it didn't seal shut. Not after you guys did something to the box that got angry. There is what looks like a big Rex Dashington-sized jar that is vertically cut in half and opened on a hinge. Stacked neatly next to that is a table of some kind, and it has a few articles. And Rex, you see now there is definitely some kind of a longer version of what this fellow is calling a Smith & Wesson.
Well, I guess I will pick that up then.
Okay.
Excellent.
So
alrighty, you haven't the foggiest idea what to do with it.
And there's only one. There's only one of those pod thingies in here. His pod thingy.
No, there's another one that is slightly ajar, and there is a desiccated form in it.
Okay, this is not another one of him running around.
No. Let's see.
Is Rex wearing anything?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Thank goodness.
A white suit.
Yes.
Okay, I didn't hear
dripping.
That.
Yeah.
All I heard was the flowing hair.
All right. So, let me see here. What would we call this? Okay. So, Yang, give me a D10 roll. Do you have your stats yet for Rex?
Yes.
Okay. I just didn't want you to, if you were going to play with this thing, I didn't want you to be like, but if I had gotten a high enough int, it would have helped, if you accidentally shoot your face off.
Shooting yourself on the rules.
I could do that anyways, but
All right.
I'll lose 2 characters in one night. 1.
A 1. Okay. You immediately recognize that attached to the broad, almost triangular part of it that is on one end, sort of strapped to it are these 3 silver boxes. And there's a square receptacle a little bit to the left of that large triangular bit that looks like that's where it might perfectly fit. So click. There's a resounding click. And next to it, a little blue light comes on. It's very faint. It wouldn't illuminate. You wouldn't see it more than a meter away, but it comes on. So it's definitely a step in the right direction. Roll again.
3.
Wow. Okay. Given the weight of it and the angle of what is like some kind of spade grip with a ring above it that seems to have some kind of a latch, you're able to sort out that perhaps the triangular part rests against your stomach or your hip, and you hold it by that spade grip because there's a little mirrored hole at the far end of a long tube.
Okay.
All right, give me another roll.
7.
Yeah, you're kind of panning it around, and you notice that there's a round oculus close to. You'd have to rest your cheek on it to look down it, and when you move it around the room, green numbers flicker up and down depending on which direction you're pointing it. Give it another shot.
This kind of looks familiar. 3.
Well, okay. You next to where you have your hand, you realize there's an easy to move lever. You move it, and heretofore unknown, you missed it somehow. In the little window, the little aperture that you're looking through, you see the word safe has gone to arm. You stop and look at your arms. Your arms seem perfectly safe.
It predicts the future.
Want to give it
now? It won't destroy my arms.
Oh, the night's still young. All right, give it another. Give it another, and
4.
another one. A 4. Okay. You push and pull and try and move the longer part, but nothing changes. Nothing bad happens, but nothing changes.
Okay. Another one?
It's up to you.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
3.
You tighten your finger through the hole, and you manage to not burn a hole in any of your new allies. The rest of you, there is a crack and a smell of ozone, and there is a hole about yay big burned into the wall.
Gerg scampers behind Oscar.
Yes, now that's what I'm talking about.
Oscar in turn scampers behind Gerg.
All right, so now we have more Smith & Wesson.
Yes, you have more Smith & Wesson.
Are there any other like drawers or cabinets anywhere in the room?
Any other stuff?
Yeah, anything.
There are a few, and I will tell you in just a moment what they are. Now, this is metagame knowledge, folks at home, but just so you know what you have there. In terms of, I'm not going to tell you exactly what it is, but in terms of combat stats, it is. Let's see. Oh, good Lord, Jim! Really? 63 occurrences of laser in this book. All right. Oh, let me see.
Page 32.
Okay. Yes, this is a laser rifle. It throws 6 dice. And you're not sure how many shots you get out of each magazine, but it will throw 6 dice. The rangefinder is decremented in a way that you estimate it can fire out to perhaps 300 meters. Now, there's a question about other cabinets in the room. There's a cabinet about as tall as Rex here, next to the jar that Rex apparently came into the world from. There are a few drawers along the wall, if you'd like to examine those. But as you're looking at that, you hear the crack, and Rex is nodding approvingly, looking at the new Smith & Wesson that you have acquired. So you may continue to examine things.
Gurg will check out one of the lower drawers.
Alrighty. So let's see. Random stuff. One of my favorite tables. See, those of you who haven't played older role-playing games like this, the sheer randomness of it is so much fun. It really is. It's like, what's in that chamber? Well, a key to a hover car, a baseball card, an air freshener, and 4 bullets. And this is why
Gilmars.
Yeah, exactly. And this is why my character in Fallout 4 is carrying around like 1,100 pounds of stuff. All right. A moment, please.
Oh.
And I hope our audience, as well as the players, are enjoying this.
Darn tootin'.
Good. All right. So let's see. Let us see. So there's a few papers here and again, but in the tall cabinet, wow. So you open up the tall cabinet and you kind of jump back because there's a headless metal man in there.
Yeah.
And it takes you a moment to realize that it's hollow, and it appears to be some kind of Rex-sized suit.
It looks like a scarecrow.
Specifically Rex-sized?
You're not going to fit in it if that's what you're asking.
Oh.
Sorry.
Gurg's going to climb up on it and look down in the, is there like a neck hole or something?
There is a neck hole. It's a little dark in there, but the cabinet has a little, there's a light beaming down. It's kind of faint. There's padding. It looks like, it would fit around a person. And you can see now on the back of it, sort of flipped over backwards, is a covering that might go over that person's head.
Gurg will transmit empty to everyone.
Or just ask Rex if it looks familiar to him.
Yes, this is definitely one of the prototype suits they had us wear. Would you mind if I slip into something more comfortable?
That doesn't look very comfortable.
It's metal. It must chafe.
So Rex will try to get into it.
Oh, this will be fun. Okay.
Oh boy.
You don't fit in that little hole.
Get your dice ready.
I'm all set.
Okay. Well, give me a D10 roll.
9.
9. Okay, let's see. Oh, wow. On this table, a 9 that early. Oof. Did you roll up 2 characters after Bubbles? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. All right. So I'm going to put this on chart B. Yeah, you kind of like, okay, maybe I just fit my arm down in here. And you're not sure if you bump some kind of switch or something, but you're going in through the neck hole and trying to put your arm down in it, like put it on like a reverse shirt. And there's this high pitched sweet, and the arm just kind of curls up and it hurts. It hurts your arm. And you think if you had fit it in there any further through the neck hole, yeah, it might have just dislocated or broken your elbow. Roll again.
Okay.
Oof.
6.
Okay, wow. So
I don't like wows in this game.
it unclamps, and the bulbous upper part of the body separates, and now it looks like you could step into it and maybe put it on like a pair of pants and then slip your arms into it.
All right, that's what I'm going to try.
All right, give me another die roll.
2.
Okay, you are now standing in it, and one of the arms has hinged forward, the other has hinged backwards. You don't know how to coordinate them to get them. One of the arms is hinged on the back half, and the other is hinged on the front chest piece. You don't know really how to coordinate them, but you've definitely made progress.
So like I told you guys, prototype. Roll again.
Sure.
Like a glove.
3.
Okay, yeah, you realize that you're like, oh, okay, so the controls are actually built in the way I move, and it very snugly, the upper body, not snugly, in a snug fashion, clamshells shut, and just as it does so, you're able to flip your arms into the armored sleeves, and they clamp over your hands. All right.
Well,
You're not 100% sure, but you think you got it.
I walk up and knock on the chest.
It's like knocking on a very heavy, sturdy piece of something.
A piece of something.
Yeah. It does. There's no like gonging sound or anything, and it does not yield to your knocking. Well, wait a minute. No, you're 3 meters tall. Yeah. So, yeah, I forget. I'm sorry.
Gingerly knock.
Yeah. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. So you're standing there in the armor. He comes over and boom, boom, boom. But you note that it responds every time he does that. You're not doing it. It's writing itself after he does that.
Ooh. That was useful.
Wow. This is some good stuff.
Right. But the helmet is still flipped open behind you. And the helmet is a big clamshell thing. It's curvilinear like an egg, that like the top, like if you laid an egg on its side,
Okay.
the upper front portion of the armor is the lower half of that egg, and the helmet would clamp over you like the upper half. There's no like separate neck and head.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll try to close that off.
All right, give me another die roll.
5.
You twist and turn and push and lean and nudge stuff with your chin, but nothing happens. It just kind of does the Watusi in place and then stand still when you stand still.
Can I try to push it up over? That might not be a good idea, though.
That's up to you. Yeah, I mean, yes, you can. I'm sorry. Yes, you absolutely can. So,
would you like some help?
Sure.
All right, I'm gonna try to gingerly push the helmet into place.
All right, we're gonna start you on a lesser chart.
Ever so gingerly.
Roll a d10.
All right. Woo! Let's see. Get out of the way.
You got a pretty high int. This might work out well.
I got a 4.
You got a 4. Okay. It doesn't clamp down. You can still see their wrecks. You can still see out of the opening, but he just kind of gently pushes it over. There's sort of a protesting sort of sound when he pushes it down, but you are basically enclosed. You can still see them because, as I said, it doesn't seal, but just above your line of vision, now sort of flickering to life, are 3 flat squares that are illuminating your face. And after a moment, it's like they become transparent. It's like you can see exactly out of them. So you don't get the hat to seal, and the suit won't move to your commands yet, but it's a step. It's a step forward.
All right, I'm going to try to use a little finesse and get these things going.
Okay.
Get it to seal correctly. 5.
Okay. The suit does not move, but the rest of you observe this. There's a hiss, and it clamps the rest of the way down. It is dimly illuminated inside, but you basically you have what's called in an armored vehicle vision blocks, but these are digital vision blocks. Each one is about the size of a mobile phone. And whichever way you turn your head, you can see outside through them. But otherwise the suit is not responding to you.
I go up next to it. Can you hear me?
Is it? It's completely.
It's very muffled. And as far as mobility, yeah, it's
just knock on the outside. Hello?
I'm gonna yell. It's going great. Thank you.
Everybody outside of the suit, you are driven back by this like 130 decibel blast from like every direction in the suit.
And then he'll say, "My bad." And then he'll try to get the suit working correctly.
Okay, give me another roll.
That is a 0 or a 10, I guess.
That is a 10. Okay.
I'll take 0 if that's better.
Yeah, but 10 can't be good.
Actually, 10 could be really good.
The suit crouches down like that as much as it can, and like you're not doing this right, so your arms and legs you're like being bent into this crouching position. You're not sure what that's all about.
All right, well, I gotta try again to straighten up.
All right.
Do I look cool when I'm doing it though?
Looks like you're taking.
I leave that to your companions.
Pop squat.
3.
3. Okay. It's a slightly less painful position. and it sort of moves to a different crouch. It's like you're going through the Sears Actionwear catalog.
Jeez.
Series of model poses.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess I got to try again if I'm going to get out of this thing. I'm not trying to get out of it, just trying to get it to work. But to get out of this position, I should say. All right, that's a 2.
Okay. Couple things happen. It stands back up straight, and the upper chest plastron unseals. The whole affair doesn't open, but you can feel like air currents from outside.
Okay.
It's standing straight, and your arms are hanging down at your sides now.
Can I move around that, or is it stiff by my sides?
It's stiff by your sides.
All right. Well, I got to get this thing to move, so I guess I'll have to roll again. 4.
Yeah, you're looking around, and it's not doing anything.
Come on, baby. Daddy needs to walk. And I'll roll again. Oh, 1.
Okay, there is a hiss and a pop, and it seals back up, and you can now move your arms.
Yes.
You realize that, like, the key is move your arms slightly and then let the suit do the rest of the work for you. And it becomes very fluid. The legs, you're not sure.
Well, I guess I'll try to take a step forward and see what happens.
What is Rex's int, by the way?
His int is 13.
Okay, I don't think that provides you with any bonuses. So, all right, roll it.
3.
Still have upper body mobility. It's no longer uncomfortable, but it's not budging.
So you see him sort of like swinging his arms like as if he's going to run, but his legs aren't going anywhere. All right, I got to try to move those legs again.
All right.
9.
9. Okay. The legs do move. You back into that weird crouch.
All right, so I'm still swinging my arms so that I'm in that crouch.
Now they're hitting the floor, though.
Is it doing any damage to the floor?
What is okay? Question. It's just scuffing up dirt. What is everyone else doing in the room while this is going? You guys just standing there watching?
Trying not to get stepped on.
Marveling at this device of the ancients. It's a wonder.
Okay.
You said there are drawers in this room, correct?
Yes.
Oh yeah, we should do some
I'm
rummaging
search
and
the drawers
ransacking.
because I got bored watching him.
That's fine. That's fine.
Brun will join.
All right, searching drawers. Artifacts. You guys find a missile.
Micro missiles. Dibs.
Find a stamp machine.
What's a stamp?
Exactly.
Okay. In another cabinet. Let's see. There is what looks like a knife about that long. It's got a very thick handle to it and a round disc on the handle. Easily touchable with the thumb.
Okay, I'm going to examine it.
All right.
And touch that disc. Because I'm always touching things I shouldn't.
It begins to thrum in your hand, and the edge glows a deep orange color.
Now, you said a knife.
A knife. It's very clearly a
are
knife.
About the size of my head. So it would be very small to me, correct?
Yes.
And it's
it's still like, it's a poignard. So for you, it's like a hobby knife almost. I mean, you could still slash the crap out of someone with it. It's just,
it'd be more like a shiv.
Yeah, exactly.
Come here, you.
Yeah.
All right. So the thrumming.
Yes.
Is it's not painful or anything?
No. It's just a faint hum.
Oh. Neat. Guys, get a load of this. It hums. When I wave it, does it go wom wom?
Yes, it does. Not so clumsy or random as a blaster. Who else is searching the room?
Brun.
I think
Brun
is, yeah.
You'll never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy than on Friday night in Gamma World. All right.
I have a feeling I found a vibroblade knife.
Maybe. Okay. Brun, you open a box that seems to be about 1/3 of a meter long by half of that wide. There's a soft, spongy black material inside. And in that soft, spongy black material are 6 plum-sized devices. They're hard, they're heavy, and
exciting.
They all have an elongate, dull, green-colored handle running down one side, and on the top of them, they have a round cylinder and a ring attached to the cylinder.
I think I should wait to roll on the table till we go outside.
Does it have bumps?
No, it actually does not.
That's smooth. It's a modern one.
Okay.
Clearly
Meanwhile, who else is searching? I don't want to deny anyone else a chance. James?
Gerg was searching to begin with, but all he found was papers, I think.
Okay. So Gerg, good Lord, what am I doing to you guys?
Gerg Lord.
Gerg, you find something that looks similar to the object that Rex was fondling and messing around with earlier, but it's almost Gerg size. It seems to be. It seems like the triangular piece is made of a triangle of metal that's folded up. It makes it a little bit big, but not too bad. Gerg sized.
Okay.
I thought you meant by Gerg size it was the size of Gerg.
Well, I mean, it is. It like imagine posing with a Kentucky long rifle. That's kind of the scale of it still, but he can handle it depending on what it is. Do you want to try and play with it now, or wait to see what Rex does inside the suit of the ancients?
Might as well play around with it for a minute or two.
Okay. Give me a D10 roll.
7 and a 10.
A 7 and a 10. And then James had to roll up another character.
Or one of us other people.
Yeah.
This is why I'm not experimenting with these round plums, because I don't want us all to roll up a new character. But I'm keeping them, by the way. I'm sticking them in my bag.
And there I was, and I'll show you guys the video. He pulled the pin out of a torque grenade and dropped it in the room where they were all standing.
Look, guys.
I just hope I don't shoot one.
Yeah, no, you're able to. So a 7 and a 10. Yeah, it's kind of similar to the one that the strange Rex guy found. You're like, okay, Rex did this, and you insert a box inside the long device. There's a click. Nothing else happens. This doesn't have the tubular thing on the top of it, but it does have two little greenish white dots close to where it folds in half, and at the far end, a single greenish white dot. Okay. Tritium sights. So yeah, you do something that makes those dots appear, but nothing else.
Okay, I guess I'll keep experimenting for a moment.
All right.
A 1 and a 3.
Okay. So you're like, you pick this thing up, you turn it over in your hands, you slap a magazine home, you pull the bolt back, and are like, it's a good gun. And sling it on your shoulder. That literally just took you like almost straight through the chart.
Feels natural.
Does it have a sling?
Yeah, you're like Arnie going over the guns in Terminator. You know, click. 45 long slide with laser sighting. The Uzi 9mm phased plasma rifle and 40-watt range. Just what you see on the shelf, pal.
Does it have a sling where I could sling it over my shoulder?
You know what? It absolutely does.
Okay, he'll sling it over his shoulder.
The raccoon is armed. Oh my God, what have I done? Okay.
Oh no. What have you done?
Wow. I'm going to give a little hint. Makes 10-centimeter hole when applicable.
Ooh.
Mm. When is it applicable?
Anytime I apply it.
Yeah.
I apply hole punch.
Yeah. Okay. Have I covered everybody searching?
Is there anything else to search?
Yeah, let's ransack this place. Let's clean it out.
Yeah, from there on, it's I don't want to be a wet blanket, but you pretty much ransack the room of all of Rex's weapons that he might have needed to survive.
Well, he's got us now.
Yeah, exactly. And you've got his guns.
Well, if he ever makes it out of this, he would check for more clips. If he can get his legs to work.
Okay. So Rex, give me another couple of D10 rolls. All
right. Oh God, another 10.
Okay. It stands you up suddenly, overcompensates, and even with whatever method of keeping you standing, it stays in. It just kind of clunk against the wall, and you can't move.
Oh, my sciatica!
Air's getting a little stale in here, I should point out.
Air's getting.
All right. Well, I got to get this thing moving, so I guess I'll have to roll again.
Okay.
Okay, 2.
See. Okay, it's a little bit more flexible now. You can force it to take a step forward, like you push your leg forward and plant your foot, but there's that groaning and high-pitched keening sound when you do that. It doesn't seem to like you trying to move it that way. So give me another couple of die rolls.
6.
Okay. What'd you get?
3.
All right. Suit feels a little looser now, and the top of the helmet opens slightly, so you can breathe now.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
So you're kind of back to where you started.
Your
friends are standing outside, like ransacking the room, like stuffing. Yeah.
I gotta get these
knives.
I gotta get this thing mobile. So
all
right. 3.
Okay, lid seals back up. You've got upper mobility from your upper waist. Give me one more roll.
2.
That did it. You take a step forward. Thump. Thump.
There I go.
There's like the low hum of a power supply. And now you notice that all of the plaques inside of the helmet all have yellow text over them. And when you look and focus on individual words and then shift your gaze, different words are highlighted.
Cool.
So it's basically it is tracking your vision. So you now have full command of this.
Yes.
It even speaks to you. Just this kind of well, it's a feminine voice, and it says,
nice.
This is the let me see, I have it in front of me here, sorry. Mark 7 powered scout armor, optical interface online, suit servos online.
Well, hello there. Did you
She
hear
doesn't
me?
She does not respond.
No. Okay. So he'll look a little disappointed, but then what do the yellow words say?
There's one that marks there's one that says status, there's one that won't highlight that says weapon interface. There's medical. You see something marked medical.
Okay. Well, I think he's gonna, but there's nothing like that relating to the alarm in this area.
No. You also see in the center block at the very bottom, isolated from any of the other words, are vision mode, ambient, which is illuminated, then the letter U and the letter V, and then the letter I and the letter R.
I think for now he's going to leave that alone. He's just going to do a quick search for any extra clips for his big Smith and Wesson, and then regardless of if he finds something or not, he'll say to everyone, "I think we should get going."
I concur.
Yep.
Skurg.
Tracks.
All right. On the right pane there in your suit, but on the left-hand menu, if you follow what I'm saying, there is something that you kind of catches your eye, and it says flight subsystem.
Yeah.
Just pointing that out.
Okay. That seems like an outside thing to test.
Take your toys outside to play with those. Don't play with those in the house.
So I think for now he's just going to leave that and go with the group when they're ready.
Okay.
Do we want to exit this Tomb of the Ancients? Maybe come back later after we find that village down the road of the Ancients?
That might very well be a good idea.
Did you find any more ancients?
Hungry.
I have some dried meat and baked bread. Is anybody hungry?
Gurg comes over.
And by the way, if you're interested in what the suit looks like, it has hands on both arms. Oh, good Lord. That is no. Sorry. I was trying to copy an image link, and it's like, yeah, this is 500 characters long. just let me have nice things. Please Google image search.
Nope.
No suit for you.
All right, so what are you guys doing?
think we're going to try to exit this Tomb of the Ancients the way we came in.
Alrighty.
Now that the lockdown is no longer occurring.
What an appropriate sound.
You've got mail.
All right, will this work? Maybe that'll work. All right, so if you click on that link, and viewers, you can check it out too, that I just stuck up in the chat there. That's your suit does not terminate in a laser weapon on one hand, but it in fact has two hands.
Cool.
Oh, sweet.
And it's kind of a pale white color. It's not camouflaged. I am just a sucker for Kao Yokiyama's SF3D stuff, and any chance I get to Easter egg his power armor into a game, I'll take it. So, there you have it. What do?
Going outside.
Back to the shaft, yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna follow them while studying this little. I forgot.
Okay. Let me see that knife you've got. FMO.
Maybe even run my thumb along it, see if it's sharp.
Off comes the thumb.
Right?
I didn't want to say, but
It's pretty sharp.
So yeah, this basically this is a handheld weapon that will inflict 10 points of damage.
Nice.
And I was wrong about it. It is not. It's a mini lightsaber. It projects force. It does not the force, but it's my mistake, reasons. My misreading of the description. It is in fact an energy blade.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, that goes on this character sheet.
All right. So you guys are standing there looking at the shaft.
Can we get back up to the batter room?
I mean, you've got to climb in front of you. You'd be some athletics rolls if you wanted to, but.
Hey, Rex, do you remember any other ways out of here other than this precarious route?
Would I?
You know that a box used to slide up and down here, and you could step into it and it would slide up and down, but it's like trying to get a handful of wet sand at the beach, It's just like reaching out, just trying to remember what this was like.
I think the last time I saw it, there was a box to take you up and down.
How would the box work?
There's no box now.
Hey.
No box.
I don't quite remember. I mean, I remember there were doors and they opened and you stepped into a box. Yes, there must be something to activate it. And he'll look around for buttons or something.
There are discs on the wall.
So he'll start randomly pressing discs.
Nothing happens.
Nothing happens.
I kind of remember something like this, but nothing seems to be happening. They must have really let this place go.
Did we leave the ropes dangling in this shaft? Or
yeah, didn't we? Didn't we have?
I think we must have, because did we?
You did. That's right. You did.
I don't remember.
That's what I was going to say a little while ago.
Sweet. We can just make some rolls as we climb up these ropes.
Gerg is going to go ahead and try to climb up one of the ropes.
Yeah, that's easy. I mean, you guys tied the ropes off. Climbing back up the ropes is no big deal for Gerg.
Okay.
Gerg is strapped, by the way. Gerg is. Like I said, I mean, you blew straight through across, so you're just like.
He's looking for a bandana to put on now.
Yeah.
Rambo.
Well, I guess after Gur goes, I'm gonna go after him.
Okay.
I will also follow.
Yep, same.
I guess I'll bring up the rear.
Okay. So
I just didn't want you to fall on me.
yeah. So Rex, how are you going up? Take a look at the picture and consider these ropes.
Yeah, wasn't there some like ladder rungs on here last time we were in?
Or was that the other shaft?
That was the other shaft.
I believe
that was
this one. I believe Gerd climbed down those to get to that ledge.
Yeah, I thought so.
And then tied the ropes off.
Or there was that button.
Okay, well, if there are none, I guess he's gonna. It's like a power suit, right?
Yeah.
So I guess he's gonna try to like Jackie Chan it, where he's got like like one hand on one wall, one on the other, and like the feet, and sort of try to shimmy his way up. Or are there still like steel cables?
What
I
is
don't
it?
know, toggle the chin button so that you turn the jets on.
Yeah,
maybe
there was
fly
that,
up the shaft.
There was that fly toggle.
We should make that roll now.
20 rolls later. All right.
Well, no,
Flies
you
directly
have
through
command
the
of
wall.
suit. You can.
Oh yeah, you've got it figured out.
Sorry, say that again.
You have command of the suit. You can do whatever you want with it. The subsystems are not separate roles. It's
right. Oh, okay. Oh, well, if I have control of the suit, then yeah, I'll turn on the jet engines and head on up.
okay. Yeah, you're like the female voice announces, anti-gravity verniers active. And you begin to fly up and forward.
And I'll stop wherever they got out and get off the same floor. And when I'm safely on the ground, deactivate it.
Alrighty. It's
nice.
A very useful, yeah. Now there is a green bar on one of the screens, which actually, if you focus on it, you can basically customize the UI with your eyes. And the green bar is a little bit smaller, a tiny bit smaller than it was before.
All right.
He could go through the evil air, maybe.
So would I understand that means it's a power bar?
Yeah. I mean, you've got, like I said, you've got control of the suit, and you get it.
Okay. Then he will, look around and see the other guys and follow them.
Alrighty. So you guys are up on the floor. There's the dead batters. There's the hole in the wall. Or there's the doorway leading out of here. Where are you guys going?
Is it daytime, nighttime?
Yeah.
It was nighttime. You guys haven't really slept, but it has been a few hours. So it's like the dead of night.
Wasn't there another
there was a
thing up here? Like another car?
Yeah, there was a third car that we weren't able to get into.
Yes.
Hey.
Set up camp at one of those cars or in one of those cars.
There's a fire pit here with these dead batters. I'm sure they smell pretty good by now.
Yeah.
We could chuck them down the shaft, get rid of the bodies.
It's actually not a bad idea.
Throw the batters down the well.
All right, well, they're chucking bodies down. I guess I'll start a fire or something.
Okay. Yeah, the batters had a pile of tinder here, and you can definitely do that.
Great.
And by the way, I should point out there, Rex. Yes, you can handle your rifle while you're in the power armor.
Okay.
It is that flexible. I mean, this is the splendor of the ancients. This thing looks like well, it looks like what it looks like, curvilinear hot water heater with arms and legs, but it moves like you're just still wearing your jumpsuit now that you've got the handle on it.
Awesome.
So as far as flexing and holding your weapon and doing whatnot, no problem.
He is going to practice flexing and holding his weapon a little bit.
Well, I guess we should probably eat food, take shifts, get some sleep, so that we can head out in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Rex will say, "Hey, I think we can travel in this thing."
Okay. What are you indicating anything, or are you just suggesting everybody climb in the suit with you, or what?
No, he's pointing at the other vehicle that's stored there.
Well, if we can get this one to work, we know that other one that crashed works. Maybe you could pull it out of the ditch.
Oh, you guys have another one?
Our friend, he tried to drive it. He was not successful.
Oh,
In many ways.
where is this friend?
Oh. Both pieces are back there.
What?
Yes, their orangutan was turned into 2 half orangutans.
Oh, that sounds horrible. I can't imagine what would have done that.
Gerd wasn't
Technical
present.
difficulties.
Checked out the original car. Can he go check out the one that's parked over there?
So one of them, there were 2 initial. Well, there were 3. There's one that doesn't even look like the ancients with all their technology could repair it and get it working again.
Okay.
Then there's another one similar to the one that you drove off the embankment and into a tree, but you couldn't get into that one.
Can Gerd try to get into that one?
Sure. Give me a start with a D10. This
1 and a 3.
A 1 and a 3. Alrighty. Gerg, you slide your hand along the outside door panel, and you note that there is there's a slight recess that you can fit your little raccoony paw into. Let's see. You do so. There is an audible clunk. And the door moves slightly. Sort of a crispy crackling sound when it does so.
Gerd will look back at the group like, eh?
So smart with your butt brain.
All right, try it again.
Yeah. 4 and a 5.
Let's see. I mean, you've got the door open, but nothing else.
Can he pull it all the way open, or is it just cracked open?
No, you can lever it all the way open, but that's
Okay,
that's all you figure out to do.
He'll climb inside if he can.
And because I'm feeling futuristic, it gull wings up.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
So I'm dangling from the edge of the door. Okay. Let's go ahead and try to tinker with it some more. 4 and a 9.
You're still hanging by the edge of the door. Sorry.
Okay. Ooh, a pair of ones.
Okay, you sort of swing yourself back and forth and land in the driver's seat. And as you do, you punch your little raccoony fist right on a button, and the entire array of round glass and square glass and illuminated letters and numbers all springs to life. You can
I turn and look
move.
at.
There's a thrum and a humming sound, and this thing seems prepared to move.
Whatever you did, it's way better than the wrench.
I look at the group and say, "Gurg." All I can do.
So are we going places?
Places.
In this vehicle of the ancients.
I mean, I can't see over the dash, so somebody else will have to drive.
Yeah. Get him a booster seat.
I assume I'd be too tall.
Yeah.
You'll have to ride on the roof.
Like Gator McCluskey.
I was thinking more along the lines of a Gorilla.
Well, that works.
Should I try to drive the thing, or
We're all going to be able to fit in this?
Unfortunately,
Everybody but Rex.
Oscar, yeah. And Rex in the power armor.
I'll just ride on the power armor.
Get Oscar to ride in the roof.
Godzilla
Can I get
does
in
not
with the
approve.
power armor?
T-Rex.
I'm sorry, can you what?
Can I get into it with the power armor on?
You would damage the vehicle. You would severely damage the vehicle doing that.
Oh, crap.
Can opener.
Yeah, I mean, you would basically crush one of the seats down and peel a door off doing so.
Looks like you're walking.
Yeah, I guess so.
Don't feel bad. I'm walking with you, buddy.
Oh, wait. Is there anything around like that I could hitch up to it, like a trailer or something?
Pull Oscar around on a sled.
You know, like maybe it's for hauling stuff. Hauling
No,
equipment.
there's no carts to hand. Sorry.
Dang it.
There's a set of rocket rollerblades for power armor.
how about the messed up car? Couldn't we lash it to the back of it maybe and let him sit on it?
Have him drag the wrecked car around like a rickshaw.
Yeah.
Wait, can I rip the top off of the wrecked car and see if I can get it going? Just make it into a convertible?
I mean, it slammed against the tree. The hood is bent. You can examine it, sure.
All right, I'll examine it and see if it's still operable, although ugly. No. All right. Does the power suit have wheels?
No. This is not heavy gear. You do not get roller skates. Sorry.
All right.
I don't know. Try clicking your heels 3 times.
Well, I guess
There's no place like home.
I don't think I'm going to fit into that, so I'll have to follow along behind.
How far is it from here back to the Road of the Ancients?
Oh, it's not. It's like half a kilometer, maybe.
Can we drive this car easily to that Road of the Ancients? Do we remember whether we could drive this car on the Road of the Ancients?
Gurg has command of the vehicle.
Oh boy!
So you'd have to talk to Gurg about that. You'd have to get Gurg's help. He is the one who sorted out how this thing works. He's like, "Oh yeah, okay. I pushed park first, second, neutral, drive. I got it now. And this, I turn it that way, and the wheels logically go that way. And somebody's going to have to push those down. But yeah."
Is there anything that looks like it would work for a seat for Gurg?
It's like
Yes, between the two seats in the front, there is a chamber that opens that is just big enough for Gerg to sit in.
The Chamber of Gerg.
This was meant for you.
It's a little uncomfortable. That it's two black plastic circles that are kind of conjoined. And it's like a figure 8 when you look at it from the top. Like cylinders are meant to fit in it, but it kind of fits you.
It's for your legs.
Wait, we've got some of those cylinders, don't we? That
You do. These are exactly the size of those cylinders.
So if Gerg sits there, somebody else is going to have to drive, and no one else knows how to drive.
so any way I
Is that
can teach them.
Can he jam that info telepathically into our brains? I mean, we are talking about Gerg here.
We'll just get Rex to bust a stump, and he can sit on the stump on the seat.
Sure, I'll find something around that I can.
He's strong now in that suit. He can lift up a big rock and put it on the seat. I don't know, something. He just needs something to sit on, right?
I'll find a crate or something in the garage area.
I would need something to push the gas and the brake pedals with. My legs won't reach all the way down there.
While you guys are debating this,
Oh boy.
looming up, kind of loping across the plains at you, you see a half dozen podogs. These are basically wild dogs, and they're sort of trotting in your general direction. They're some distance away. When you find when you look at them and focus on them there, Rex, it's like you're looking at them, and then suddenly it looks like they're feet away from you. You're kind of waving your power suited arms around, and then it occurs to you that it just zoomed in.
The Lancelot effect.
I wonder if I should roll on the table for these plum devices now.
Well, what did you want to do with the plum devices?
Maybe pull that handle and throw it in their direction. Who knows?
That's
Take
up
my
to you.
crossbow out.
Well,
Knock
probably
a bolt
should
or
just
something.
probably should use something that I know. So Smith and Wesson.
Okay. All of you, they are actually. Let's see. Okay. They don't rush towards you. They're kind of like, if you're over here outside the building and the building's over here, the dogs just see you and kind of, they're going that way.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Although Gerg, it should be pointed out, you do kind of pick up a little bit of psychic power from them.
Ooh.
Little bit of psychic activity going on.
Okay. I don't.
Which is not unheard of with podogs, but
yeah, I don't broadcast anything. I don't want them coming near me.
yeah,
They're bigger than me.
yeah, exactly. A mutated raccoon, mutated hunting dogs. What could go wrong?
Are we sure they are bad?
Bad dogs.
They're moving. This gamma world. They're bad.
They're moving away. That's good.
That's good.
Maybe they want a bunch of masters and they be our friends.
You're entirely welcome to go over there and pet the doggies if you want. I'm not going to tell you what your character can and can't do.
Wave a bone in the air. Doggies! No.
I'm good with just letting them go.
Yeah. Cool. Well, we got this vehicle. We got to figure out how to drive it since Gerg is short.
Again, is there any way that I could teach someone telepathically somehow?
Sure, you can share your thoughts with somebody, and it will Essentially, you can walk them through the path of, okay, this lever, then that pedal, then move this to make sure you don't hit anything or drive into anything. And if you want to stop, push that.
Okay.
I mean, that's the simplest thing in the world to do.
Okay. Who looks like they would be the best suited for the job?
Well, not you, and not and not Manny's character. Sorry,
So it would have to
you
be
and Oscar
one of
are
us
just-
pure strain humans. What's your
It's
intelligence?
Either you or Mimo.
Mm-hmm. I got a 13 intel.
I've got a 10.
Okay. I guess I'll just put up the idea that I can teach someone.
Okay.
All right, I'll act like I'm receptive or open to learning.
Okay. Then I guess I'll start.
I'll get behind the wheel or the driver's seat or whatever.
Sure.
I'll sit in my little box there.
Put your feet in the cup holders.
I'll get in the front passenger side, and I'll have Smith & Wesson so I can shoot at the windows if I have to.
Okay. And Yang, what are you going to do? Just kind of jog alongside?
Yeah, I think I have to.
Okay.
We'll go slow so you don't have to like expend any energy for flying or anything.
Okay.
Or maybe I'll sit on the roof.
Hey, the roof is bending in. What's going on?
All right.
Driving.
So I'm listening to Gerg's instructions in my brain.
Okay. And it takes you a bit, but you kind of get in the ebb and flow of it. You're sort of able to weave around a couple of the worst. I mean, there's holes in the road of the ancients that you could drive this thing into and it would not come back out. So, it's like the roads in Wisconsin. Yeah, I mean that's easy enough. Yeah, you know what? You can kind of get going at a fairly decent clip. Let's say, how long are you guys going to drive? Let me ask you that before you stop and rest, because it is, like I said, it's the dead of night. This thing has some kind of illumination that throws out in front of it.
Well, should we get up to the path of the ancients and stop there?
That's probably a good idea.
Oh yeah, that's not far. That's like a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And set up camp there, maybe.
Yep. Get some
Alrighty.
rest. I think Burn's still pretty hurt.
Yep. I'm down like 50%.
And Gerg's not doing so well either, I don't think, eh?
Gerg's not too bad, actually. I think he's not taking any damage so far.
All right. I took a bit from the burning hands from the radiation, but that's all right. But yeah, I think we should set up camp.
Yes.
Set up watches so that nobody sneaks up on us.
Okay.
Are there any other compartments Gerg could check out on this thing?
Yeah, there's a few panels.
Rifling through the glove box.
Things you could basically, yeah. I mean, you can dig through the glove box. There's various papers, little booklets.
Are there
Texaco
maps?
There is a crumbling Texaco map in there.
These are great. My uncle showed me these once upon a time. Very cool. I can't read all the places, but wow.
After we set up camp, I want to pull that artifact out of my backpack and give it another go.
Which artifact was that? The plums?
No, you said it was like Smith & Wesson, only a little bit bigger.
Oh, right. So, yeah. All right. So, give me some rolls on the table.
Here we go. 2.
A 2. Okay. Oops. Putting that on there. Yeah, you're able to make the top edge of it slide back, and you're then able to slide it forward.
Oh, this is what happened last time. Okay.
Yeah. Give me another die roll.
That's 6.
Sort of turning it over in your hands doesn't really change. You try to flip a couple of levers. There's what looks like a lever on the back end of it. You pull that back, nothing happens.
All right, give her another go. 5.
More of the same.
Oh. All right. These guys are doing it. Why can't I do this? 1.
Well, okay. You push the lever that is on top of the spade handle, and there it elicits a prominent click. Oh, we lost somebody. Who did we lose?
We lost Gerg.
Oh no. Gerg, come back to us. Gerg. I'm sure he'll be back.
Okay, so like it's still not working, or it worked but it didn't work.
It worked, but it didn't work. It worked, but it did not. There was no earth-shattering kaboom.
Okay, I'll give her one more go, or another go. 2.
Okay, you got it figured out. It requires some kind of physical projectile to be put in it that goes in the bottom, in the little box that you slid into the bottom. And if you can find those, you work the slidey part on the top and then press the lever, much like Smith and Wesson, and it will throw a projectile out the end of it.
Okay. Oh,
but you do not have it. You do not have any projectiles to put in it.
I'll take a look at that slidey thing that I put into it, and like just take note to keep an eye out for something that looks like that. I guess.
Alrighty.
Put it back in my backpack.
Okay.
Is there a compartment at the rear of this vehicle?
There is. There absolutely is.
Is there a way to get into it?
Gerg, you figured out the operation of this. So
Okay.
you push a button, and there's a clunk, and you can feel the whole vehicle shift slightly.
Okay, he'll go to the compartment and take a look inside.
Okay. There's a large round object that appears to be one of the wheels that goes on it, but it is lying on its side there. There's a bundle of cloth of some kind, or bag of some sort. It's very dry rotted. It's been sitting there for centuries. To the left of that, there is a box. It has a handle on it. You carry it easily. It's maybe 1/3 of a meter by 1/3 of a meter by 1/6 of a meter. And it has the against a yellow field, it has the black circle with the black triangles radiating out from the black circle. You know what that means. That means radiation.
Gerg will say, think radiation. Everyone.
Be careful.
The
Don't burn your hands.
The box is sealed, by the way. There's some kind of latching mechanism that's keeping it closed.
Gonna stay away from the box for now and check out the bag, the crumbling bag.
The bag like splits open the minute you pick it up, but inside is some kind of hut or lean-to or something. The cloth that it was made of has all but rotted completely away, but the metal frame still seems good, so you could still kind of use it if you got new cloth to drape over it, or branches, bracken and stuff like that. It's a folding tent that is dry rotted, and only the metal frame, the the self-folding metal frame remains.
Okay. He'll climb back out of that and I guess settle on the hood, the front end of the car, the vehicle.
Okay.
Stay warm.
Watch.
All right. Let's see. All right. The evening passes mostly uneventfully, but just before dawn. Who's on watch just before dawn? Let me ask you that.
I would have went on first watch. I like sleeping all night.
I guess I would have taken final watch.
Yeah, I would probably taken it too. Being asleep for that long, he probably wouldn't be super sleepy.
Yeah.
And
Although
then,
your suit is really comfortable, and you're like, yeah, a fella could fall asleep in here.
He's gonna also try out whatever different vision modes and see if there's like a night vision.
IR and UV.
Both of them seem to. The IR is kind of green and blobby.
Mm-hmm.
The UV is everything is drained of its color, and it's not. It's clearer and further, but lower definition, which I guess would mean it's not clearer. But let's see. Something is coming.
He will try to whisper. Something's coming.
Let's see.
Do we both see this something coming at the same time?
Well, I mean, now that he points it out, yeah, you can absolutely see it.
Is it something scary?
Well, that remains to be seen. A creature is flying. It has an 8-meter wingspan.
Whoa.
And it is kind of lopes forward, jumps up, flaps its wings, glides along for a minute, lands, sniffs around, does it again.
I use the thing as cover and get behind the vehicle.
Okay.
Rex will also try to hide behind the vehicle.
Well, there's no hiding behind a vehicle for
yeah.
me.
Tunk, tunk, tunk. You guys recognize this. This is a Yexel. You can see it now. They are somewhat dim-witted, but generally speaking, not hostile creatures. It's got a few pouches hanging around its neck. They are notorious for being traders of goods in exchange for cloth to eat.
In exchange, you said cloth to eat?
Cloth to eat.
Yeah.
They're gourmets. They love cloth.
I have strips of cloth.
You have strips of cloth.
Greasy.
I mean,
cloth.
it is not very good cloth. It's rotted cloth, but maybe he likes well-aged cloth.
You pick up anything, Gerg?
Did anybody wake the rest of us up, or?
I'm still sleeping.
Yeah.
I'm going to go and rouse the others.
Give him a kick.
And it is a beautiful creature, I should point out. It stretches out its wings in the morning air and kind of holds them out. And the sun is rising off to the right of it. And it's a gorgeous creature.
After rousing them, I go, "Hail!" and wave some cloth.
Rex probably has his gun readied, although pointing to the ground, not knowing what the heck this thing is.
Okay. Yeah, you're just like, ah! I mean, talking raccoon earth-laid waste. You're not sure what this is all about. So this is just a continuing series of weird things.
Welcome to the
It's a bad
12.
dream.
Yeah.
It's like a bad dream.
You definitely.
So it waves
the
its
red
wings.
pill.
Says, well, hey, y'all.
It said y'all.
And comes.
It talks?
Yeah. Comes
What's
over
going on?
and it's got a lion-like head on its long neck and big puppy dog eyes, and it ambles over and fluffs its wings out. And this thing's wingspan is enough that it could wrap around the vehicle of the ancients, like it could cover the vehicle of the ancients in its wingspan.
Nice.
It stops before it gets there and lightly scratches itself behind it, one of its leonine ears, and says, well, howdy do, y'all. What can I do you for?
Brun says, hi, I'm Brun. What's your name?
Well, hello, Brun. My name is T. Todd Thomerson.
T-Todd, would you like some fur? I have some old fur.
Old fur? No. I was just out looking for a bite to eat this morning, but old fur, that's a little if you can't get nothing else.
I got some finely aged cloth.
Ooh,
Gruyere cloth.
Let me see.
I present the finely aged cloth.
Now, had you rolled this around in oil and stuff?
This cloth, no.
Okay, he's like, may I?
By all means.
He takes some in his claw. That is a fine synthetic. How much y'all want for that?
It's all the polyester.
Well, that depends on what it's worth to you.
Oh, well, goodness gracious. Let me just give me a second here. Let me see. Oh, well. Now, how much you got?
Well, we ripped the entire garment into strips of cloth.
Bite-sized delicacies.
Bite-sized pieces, that's what I was thinking.
How much? We used, what was it? We made, 3 or 4 different torches out of
I think so.
pieces. So, how many strips would that leave us?
I mean, we're talking about a woman's dress and blouse, lots and lots, a few yards.
Okay.
Couple of yards anyway.
I pull it all out of the pack and hold it in my arms like, this is what we got.
Oh, my.
I like this guy already.
Well, I don't know if I have enough to afford that. I have a bag of these weird shiny things, and he takes a bag from around his neck and undoes the top of it, and the bag is made from plant fibers, like roughly woven plant fibers. It's not leather and it's not cloth. But he shakes it into one of his massive forepaws there, and they're brass. Well, they're kind of tarnished, but they're cylinders. They're about the length of 2 finger joints. And who was it that had the device that was like Smith & Wesson? Who was that again?
Mo.
They look similar to the one that you saw back in the office. Very similar. But if you don't like this, I have some of these. And he pulls out another bag. And these are mostly rust, but you can tell there are a few flakes of paint. They're panels that are about this long and about that high, and they have embossed letters and numbers on them. He's got a bunch of those. I got let's see, what else might I have in here? Now I had some of these things that was about yay big around and about this long, but I traded them to some fellas. They was real excited to get their hands on them. They was pointy on one end. And he's got like he says, oh, this one's funny. You'll like this one. And he reaches into another pouch, and it's a black sphere with a flat spot on it. There is a white circle, and in the middle of the circle on the side of the black sphere is the number 8.
How many strips of cloth for that?
He said, ask me a question. Ask me any question you want.
It's a lucky 8 ball.
You don't know that. Now I can't think of a question. Asking a question, guys.
Will it rain tomorrow?
He makes a big show of shaking it. He says, now y'all come here. Look at this. Look at this. Look at it. Look at it. There's some kind of object floating in a bluish liquid in the middle of it. And you can just read very fine text on the object. It says, all signs point to yes. God dang, ain't a thing.
It can predict
I don't know
the
if
future.
it's really going to rain. This is just a toy, but this is neat.
What do you want for it?
Oh, well, I'm pretty fond of it, but I'm mighty hungry. What do you think of an even trade?
Here you go.
Deal. He hands you the magic 8 ball and takes up the scraps of cloth and proceeds to noisily eat them as he's standing there in front of you. Now, I don't know where y'all got this, but this is good. My compliments to the chef. The Yexel, ladies and gentlemen. The Yexel.
Would he fit inside that building?
I'm sorry, what?
Would he fit inside that building?
Oh, Lord, no.
Oh, okay.
And we asked him if he's seen anything down this road that he came flying over.
No. The big, you talking about the big rock thing over there? What'd you call it? A rud?
The
Rud. No, I come from the other side of the rud.
What's over there?
Where I used to be. He sort of leans into not to Gerg. He doesn't know Gerg can talk. He leans into I don't know, Oscar, and says, "Is he a little slow? I don't mean nothing mean by it. I just,
you get used to him."
Oh, all right.
He's
well. I land sakes. I thought I'd have to poke around in one of the old places, or worry about rads or the little pink fellers that have the shooty stabby things. That, man, there's a bunch of them don't like me. Some folks are friendly, but some folks ain't.
Well, you're lucky you found us.
I am, and if I wasn't such a greedy Gus, I might take some of this back to my friends. But I'm just going to enjoy it myself.
No, that's all for you, bud. That's all for you.
Nom, 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 nom.
Those brass things that he showed earlier, did they have anything else to them, or were they just like empty brass?
Oh, no, they had dull gray points on them.
I wish we had something else to trade them.
Gerg goes back to the back end of the car and gets those piles of cloth out of there in the shelter as well.
I mean,
drags them back around, see if he's interested in those.
Maybe he's interested in the wheel.
He's not offended by it, but it's kind of like, I mean, he just finished a plate of linguine and you're offering him like potato chips that have been beat to pieces. So he's like, no, I mean, well, what is good?
I mean, you could take it back to your friends. You have the good stuff.
Well, I can bring it. I got a lot of places on fly today. It'd be a snack.
There you go.
I tell you what, y'all. He takes the. Did you guys mention the brass cylinders again?
Well, I can't mention. I can project the thought of it.
All right.
I could project the thought of the brass.
Okay. I had said that I wish I had something to trade, but
Gerd projects the thought to me. I mentioned them.
Okay. Yeah. He says, "Well, I tell you what. He scrapes the bits of cloth into the. Now, don't worry. I'm not going to take off. I'm not. Puts the bits of cloth into the bag that the sphere of prophecy was in, and says, "Y'all just dig your hands in here and get y'all some," and just shakes the bag full of brass objects.
Okay, look at Mo.
Go ahead.
Hand in the bag. Anything happen? How many do I grab?
Yeah. I mean, you come up with a double handful, and many of the objects look like they would fit the projector, the slug thrower.
Mm-hmm.
Slug thrower.
Yes.
I thank him, and what did he say his name was?
T. Tom.
Thank you very much, T. Tom. And if I ever find any more clothing, I'll make sure to save it for you.
Well, I sure do appreciate it. I hope I'll see y'all around. Y'all have a wonderful day. He whistles a tuneless tune and just goes strolling along the plane, sometimes flat. It is magnificent, like when he takes to wing and just kind of flaps and glides for a little bit, and then he just sort of zooms back down to the ground and walks on. See, Gamma World isn't all killer robots and radiations.
I like that guy.
What caliber was that slug thrower?
45. It is 10 millimeter, and you have 8. You picked up some other ones. There are some that are like way too big, but there are 8 10 millimeter shells.
Okay, and how many of different calibers?
Let's see. No, that's too big. You have 2 that are way smaller. You have 8 that are much larger. And then you have 4 that look like they might fit, but they might be a little small or maybe a little big. You're not sure. It just,
Okay. Cool.
I'm going to ask the prophecy ball if we're going to find food.
Are you?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, Bruin had a little bit that he was wanting to share earlier.
Baked bread and dried meat.
Better than nothing. I look at Oscar and I'm like, he's going to need lots.
It's cryptic and a little mysterious. It says, "Better not tell you now."
Oh, no.
It's a little dark.
Well, I love this prophecy ball.
Well, I assume that we're rested from sleeping overnight.
Sure.
Anybody regain any hit points?
Let me see. All right. I'm trying to think here. I gotta.
Everybody but you.
Everybody.
Thanks for asking. Nope.
Okay, I'm going to say that everybody regains 2 hit points. It's not super comfortable in the car, but it's warm, it's dry.
Yeah, for those that got to sleep in the car.
Well, the suit is, but then you don't have the suit either. But every you've got a campfire going, and your packs, and you roll those out. So in the overall, everybody regains 2 hit points. In the car, there's some kind of system. You're not sure how it does it, but you push a button, and it causes either warm or cool air to blow somewhere from deep inside the vehicle. Rex, your suit goes into basically a power saving mode. You can rest inside the suit, although basically it's like if you went to your house and leaned against the wall to sleep.
Comfy.
But it does not run the battery while you're not doing stuff. But it does keep circulating the life support system. So if you want to sit down in your suit and then sleep that way, or even lay down in your suit, you can.
All right, I will. I'll lay down. Put my hands behind my head, feet up. I'll lean them on a tree stump or something.
Easy enough to do. It's very fluid. So that's how you spent the evening. Then you met T. Todd Thomerson and had an absolutely pleasant time. It's now the morning. The sun's up. It occurs to you all that you're one day closer to disaster befalling Outpost 76. If that's something you guys even care about anymore.
I got a prophecy ball. That's all I care about.
Oh, okay.
No.
Well, Outpost 76 really fall if we don't get back to it.
Probably.
It is decidedly so. Well, there you go. Get on the stick. No, I mean, I'm not going to say, your character can do what he wants, but
they've at least got a couple more days. I'm sure they at least have a couple more days in them.
Okay.
But we should go down this road and find out if it takes us to the place that Steve was talking about.
Yes. Sure.
All right. So you get on the road, you figure out how to work the entertainment center, and there's some very pleasant, snappy, upbeat music just suddenly appears out of nowhere, just from every direction in the vehicle. In the powered armor, you have the faint hum of servos.
Okay.
That's what you've got in your powered armor.
There's no MP3 player in here? Or...
No. Okay, sorry.
Design.
It's the ancients, man. They gotta have flack.
What's an MP3? And why is there 3?
All right, so we are going to call it a night there as you're getting on the road. There are encounters to be had next week. I hope everyone had a wonderful time. I had a wonderful time DMing it.
Poor Bubbles.
Poor Bubbles.
I got a prophecy ball.
Poor Bubbles.
Yeah, rip.
Rest in pieces.
Yeah. No, more of a squish, less of a rip. But anyway, so to our audience, thank you all for stopping by and watching. I know one of our players was out at a convention. He was gaming without us.
Oh,
blasphemy!
Okay.
But that's okay. So I hope everyone will be back next week. I will be back Monday night for whatever craziness. Then, of course, Tuesday night, we have AD&D, and I have a couple folks here, or at least one person here at the table, rather, who is in the Tuesday night AD&D game. And then either Wednesday or Thursday, Mike C. will be here when we talk about his writing and wargaming and what's on the horizon for him. And then next Friday night, don't worry, we'll be right back. So thank you to our audience. Thank you to our players. Thank you to everybody who supports the channel. And I want one more look before we go. Let's just have a quick gander. Well, we're still at 9:57. I didn't piss anybody off and make them leave. So
nice.
So guys,
no.
keep supporting the channel. We're only 43 subs away from the great underground online gaming con.
What's the 8 ball say? When are we getting that?
Oh yeah, okay. Magic 8 ball. Will we get to the 1,000 votes in March?
Shakes vigorously.
Shakes vigorously. One of the worst mobsters you'd ever want to meet. Reply hazy. Try again. Well, we'll give it a shot at another time, guys. Have an absolutely wonderful evening. I have been your host. These have been the players. Thank you all for sitting and watching, and I'll catch you all on the flip side. Be well, everyone.